And you know it's coming. The Cardinals taking on the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine. John Miller and Joe Morgan have the call. It's sunny there.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball tonight from Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles. The Dodgers and the Cardinals, two teams that have been linked for many a year by one stunning moment.
Swinging along with him to left field. Adios, goodbye, and maybe that's the winner. A three-run homer by Clark, and the Cardinals lead by the score of 7-5, and they may go to the World Series on that one, folks.
2 outs. I couldn't believe it. It just broke my heart. Just broke my heart.
This is ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Nextel. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan, and welcome to Sunday Night Baseball, our 14th season. And we've got two historic franchises here. And, Joe, I know you like offense.
Yes.
We've got the highest scoring team in the majors, the Dodgers. I know you're also a purist. You like some good pitching. We got the best pitching team, the Dodgers.
Well, look at it this way. The St. Louis Cardinals have the best balanced team offensively in the league. By that, I mean left-handed power, right-handed power, left-handed hitting, good hitting, speed. They have everything offensively, but their pitching staff. That's another story.
All right, so they have struggled there, and the Dodgers have been beating up on them 4-1 against the Cardinals so far this year, trying to make it 3 out of 4 this weekend. But scoring runs, that's been a problem for the Dodgers. Finally, they went out, they picked up Jeremy Burnitz, the slugger from the Mets, and also the ageless one, the great leadoff man, Ricky Henderson, now 44 years old.
Well, what Burnitz will give them is something they haven't had since they got rid of Gary Sheffield. That's a bona fide threat to help Shawn Green from the home run side. And what they're going to get from Ricky Henderson? Well, Ricky Henderson was the greatest leadoff hitter in the history of the game, but that was in another life. I think what they're really going to get from Ricky Henderson now is an exciting player. He's going to bring some charisma to a team that doesn't have a lot of excitement, and I think he's going to give some leadership. And that's funny when you say that about Ricky Henderson, but I think he will be a leader on this ball club.
All right, so we'll see some of those all-star starters of the Cardinals like Albert Pujols and company, but also Woody Williams, a 12-game winner. He'll try and be the stopper tonight. Eduardo Perez, the stylish left-hander for L.A. Stay tuned.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Nextel. Nextel, life's better when your cell phone has a walkie-talkie. And in part by Jaguar Cars. Jaguar, born to perform. And new Gillette Sensor 3.
Tonight on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, Albert Pujols continues to amaze with a sweet stroke and a huge average. Can he win the Triple Crown? The Dodgers have made some moves to fortify a woeful offense and may not be done yet. Tonight we'll analyze their recent additions. With 12 wins, Woody Williams has emerged as the Cardinals' ace. Tonight, Joe Morgan breaks down why he's become so dominant.
It's all coming up on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball in its 14th season as Major League Baseball's only nationally televised game of the week in high-definition television.
Temperatures in the high 80s here in Southern California and rather humid. Sunday Night Baseball from beautiful Dodger Stadium. And the Dodgers and the Cardinals, both contenders, but right now, the Dodgers need a victory. They started today 8.5 back of the Giants in their division, the West, and the Giants have already won their ball game. And the Cardinals, well, they're right there with Houston, but the Astros, nobody's beating the Astros right now. And Houston won again today, so the Cardinals are looking for a win at the same time. The Dodgers, who have won 4 of their 5 meetings this year against the Cardinals, and they've been scoring runs against the Cardinals. They scored more runs against the Cardinals than they scored against anybody. Until yesterday, anyway. The Cardinals beat them yesterday 3-1 here. So for the Dodgers, scrambling for runs, that's been a problem. Kevin Brown pitched very well yesterday, coming off the disabled list, and nonetheless lost the ball game. 3-1 was the final. Jeremy Burnitz has arrived from New York. Ricky Henderson has arrived from Newark, from an independent league, Joe, where, by the way, Ricky said he had some of the best times he's ever had as a baseball player. Eduardo Perez, the Dodgers started tonight, just coming in from the bullpen. The week before the All-Star break, the Dodgers had this long losing streak. We saw them when we were here that 4th of July weekend, and Eduardo ended up being the stopper for them in that ended that losing streak against the Arizona Diamondbacks. who came in red hot, and he almost pitched a no-hitter. He took a no-hitter into the 8th inning of that game.
Well, he has great stuff as long as he throws strikes and he can throw his changeup to some of his off-speed pitches over. A lot of times he gets in trouble because he challenges so many hitters with the fastball, and he does give up a few home runs off the fastball.
And we're talking about Perez in that start back in July the 5th. He took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. And Joe, I mean, this guy, he's not overpowering as you mentioned, but he keeps him off balance. And finally, a controversial base hit by Shea Hillenbrand. Some of the Dodger fans thought that Shawn Green should have made a dive for that ball. Ultimately, there were a couple more hits in that inning, and he finished with a 3-hitter for 8 innings, and Gagne finished up for him, and that was a big win for Perez. Perez and the Dodgers taking the field now. And let's take a look at the batting order for the St. Louis Cardinals. There goes Ricky Henderson, wearing number 25 here in Dodger blue, heading out to left field. The Dodger batting order now brought to you, or the Cardinal batting order brought to you by Nextel. Bo Hart, the rookie second baseman, he's done a great job. J.D. Drew, center field. Albert Pujols with a shot at a triple crown. He's at first base. Scott Rolen hitting cleanup at third base. Edgar Renteria, the shortstop. Eduardo Perez, son of Tony, is in right field. Mike Matheny, the catcher. Orlando Palmeiro in left field, hitting 8th. And Woody Williams is the pitcher. The Cardinals will be playing without Jim Edmonds, who's still having some problems with that shoulder that he apparently injured in the home run derby last Monday in Chicago. And you see the numbers for Odalis Perez. And he went through a real slump himself before that near no-hitter. He'd gone, had lost 5 consecutive decisions before that one.
Well, as you said, in the no-hitter, he had everything working for him. The near no-hitter, he had everything working for him. Change-ups, curve balls, and a good fastball. He had a good moving fastball on that particular occasion. Let's take a look at the Dodger defense. You take a David Ross behind the plate. LaDuca plays first base on days that they try to rest him and keep his bat in the lineup. Cora, pretty good second baseman. Torres is a very good shortstop. Beltre over third is playing great. And Henderson in left field used to be a Gold Glove winner. Burnett's not normally a center fielder, but he's playing center field here. And Shawn Green, of course, in right.
And Ricky Henderson now 44 years old, but still in magnificent condition.
Well, he looks like he looks like he's 25 or so physically. But he says the secret is that he does like 120 to 200 push-ups and sit-ups before he goes to sleep at night.
Now, if you did that, could you actually then go to sleep?
I couldn't, but he says that he can. And he also said, I mean, he doesn't run. I mean, he doesn't lift weights. He doesn't do all the things that a lot of modern-day players do. Just sit-ups, and he runs, or he runs 3 to 5 miles, and the sit-ups and push-ups and stretches and all these kind of things. And he says he loves to eat ice cream. He says he loves ice cream. He says he has to have something sweet before he goes to sleep at night.
Well, there's something that we all have in common with Ricky. Ricky Henderson homered in the Friday night ball game here against the Cardinals, and when he did, he became the 3rd oldest player since 1900 to homer in a big league game. Here's Bo Hart at the other end of the spectrum, just getting his big league career started, and he takes ball 1 from Odalis Perez. Bo Hart from the Santa Cruz area of California, hitting .342. Man, he really was a godsend. They had lost their leadoff man, Fernando Vina. Miguel Cairo took over. They thought, well, we're in good shape. Cairo's a very good player. He got hurt, and so they dipped down to the minors for Bo Hart. And when he first came up, nobody could get him out. 2-0 the count.
And it's interesting, John, because he really hit well. He went through a mild slump, I guess we might call it. Recently, he was 0 for 13 until he got a base hit yesterday. But, I mean, you expect a guy to have some slump at some point, but he's swinging the bat well, and he's doing the job for them.
Pops that one up, shallow right center. And that is Burnett's. 1 away. And that'll bring up J.D. Drew. Now, the Cardinals have, every team this time of year has guys who've got something that's wrong with them. I mean, that's just part of being a big leaguer, Joe, right?
Well, I mean,
now, you didn't get
long
hurt.
season takes its toll on you physically.
But you didn't get hurt that much.
Well, I got hurt more than I'd like, but, I mean, definitely takes its toll. Long season, 162 games, that's 6 months.
J.D. Drew's got some problems with his right knee, and he almost got one of the ribs right there to go along with it.
Well, he had the knee operation in the offseason. I mean, he's been struggling with the knees the last couple of years, actually. So, but he is a good hitter.
It was
when healthy.
Tony La Russa didn't figure that Drew would be able to play much in this series with the Dodgers going with some lefties and with some of the problems that he's had with that right knee as he takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. And there's Tony La Russa. La Russa, in his first year as a big league manager, that's all the way back in 1979, managed against Rickey Henderson in Rickey Henderson's first year as a player. 2-1 the count. J.D. Drew. Now Drew has had problems staying healthy. I mean, the injuries seem to hit him, and serious injuries that put him on the shelf for long periods of time. He's only had 172 at-bats this year. Now 3-1. Albert Pujols is on deck. And Albert had been something else. Now he went through a little bit of a slump himself before the All-Star break, and he's still hitting 370.
Well, it's almost impossible not to go through a slump in that long season.
Left field, Rickey Henderson looking up into that Dodger blue sky, and he makes the catch.
If Pujols never went to a slump, he did 500. So, I mean, he's that good. He swings the bat well. He puts the ball in play, and he doesn't try to pull the ball. I mean, even in watching him in the home run derby, I mean, he hit most of his home runs left center to right center. And this, as I said, is, in my opinion, the most balanced offense in the league from lefty-righty standpoint. And this guy brings everything together for them. He stabilizes everything right in the middle of this lineup.
Pujols hits the lefties and the righties both. Just a bit outside.
Well, anytime a right-handed hitter doesn't try to pull left-handers, he's going to have some success. The guys you find that handle left-handed pitching well, they hit the ball right center, left center. They're not up there trying to pull it. The left-hander's ball naturally tails away from the right-handed hitter, and guys that try to pull it get themselves in trouble.
2 balls, no strikes to Pujols. Now, there are 3 guys, all Hall of Famers, who hit 100 homers or more in their first 3 seasons. Ralph Kiner, Eddie Matthews, and Joe DiMaggio. This is Pujols' 3rd season, and he is sitting on 99 home runs. We're talking about first 3 full big league seasons. Albert, there you see the list. Kiner has the record 114 in his first 3, then Matthews, then DiMaggio, and Albert is 1 away from joining some select company. Nice pitch. 2-2 the count.
You see the ball tailing away from the right-handed hitter, moving down and away, and that's the pitch that most left-handers can be successful with against right-handed hitters.
2-2 to Pujols. Perez off the third base side of the slab, and he bounces one in there. Perez with 2 down and nobody on. He's up against Woody Williams. Woody Williams having just an outstanding season, 12-3. Of course, it doesn't seem to matter much who's facing the Dodgers. They just have not been scoring many runs this year. Pujols draws the walk, which is one area of his game. I mean, he doesn't draw that many walks. You would figure the longer he's going to be in the big leagues, the more walks he'll start to get. But he goes up there to hack.
Well, the interesting thing about Albert is he has improved each and every year. I mean, from his rookie season to now, he just seems to get better and better. He understands more about what they're trying to do to him as far as pitching to him. And he also makes great adjustments. And he doesn't have to adjust that much because he stays back through the middle anyway.
Now Scott Rolen, powerful right-handed hitter. And that's ball 1. Perez has got an outstanding changeup. I mean, he's very adept at changing speeds. Scott Rolen, 19 homers, 63 batted in. But you're talking about that Cardinal balance in that lineup. It changes a little bit with Jim Edmonds out of there.
Correct.
And that's a ball. I mean, and Edmonds hits the lefties well. He's hit 10 homers in only 86 at-bats against left-handed pitching this year. So when he's not in there, that's a big loss to their lineup. Cesar Izturis, the shortstop, came in for a brief word with Perez as La Russa looks on from the Cardinal dugout. Cardinals have been struggling. That is a fastball for a strike. 2-1 now. They're in the right division, though. You can struggle a little bit, or at least so far, you can struggle a little bit in that National League Central and still be in the race. They started today only 3 games back of the Astros, but the Astros won again today. They've won 5 in a row now. That one is hit deep to left field. Henderson back. It is gone. A home run. Scott Rolen with his 20th home run of the year. And the Cardinals, the highest scoring team in the National League, have jumped out quickly.
And John, that's what I was talking about earlier. He seems to get hurt on the fastball so often. He threw one fastball away to Rolen, and he tried to get this one away, I'm sure, but this ball gets a lot of the plate. So it's supposed to be away, but this ball gets a lot of the plate, and Rolen makes him pay for it. But that's the pitch that has caused him a lot of problems, a lot of home runs off his fastball.
Now Edgar Renteria, another National League All-Star starter. Cardinals had 4 of them. And that fastball high and tight, 1 ball, no strikes. Renteria hitting .326, 10 homers, 62 driven in. Scott Rolen, 20 homers. He is the 3rd Cardinal to reach that level. Edmonds 29, Pujols 28. Now Rolen with 20. And into the seats, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike to Renteria. You know, it's funny because every guy who's hit the ball so far has hit the ball in the air against Perez. But we've got the numbers from the Elias Bureau, Joe, and that's very atypical. Usually he makes you hit the ball on the ground.
Well, we saw him turn over a couple of fastballs to Pujols, but Pujols didn't bite on them. And the other pitches he threw to the right-handed hitters have been pretty much up a little bit and toward the middle of the plate.
2-1 the count. 2 down, nobody on. Perez on deck. Right back to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Perez, by the way, has allowed 16 home runs. He's given up more homers than any other Dodger pitcher, and he's only pitched 115 innings. So somebody's getting the ball airborne against him. But when he's going right, you'll see a lot of ground balls. But he has not had anybody hit the ball on the ground yet. 2-2 the count. Just off the outside.
It was a nice try there because he had thrown a couple of pitches hard inside and had Renteria fighting them off. So he tried to go away and he barely missed.
3-2.
Back inside.
And a big cut by Renteria.
Well, he didn't get it in. He left that one over the plate as well.
So he's not real sharp so far.
No, because I mean, again, his fastball gets him in trouble because he finds the middle of the plate too often.
Here comes his 26th pitch of the inning. And it's a walk. Well, after getting a couple of fly balls from Hart and Drew, he walked Pujols. Rolen took him deep. Now he has walked Renteria. And this first inning is starting to turn into an ordeal for Perez as he faces the Cardinals' Perez. And now Jim Colborn, the pitching coach, is going to go out and chat with Odalis Perez. 2-0. The Cardinals leading. The Dodgers, we mentioned 8.5 back of the Giants at the start of the day. Closer, though, in the wild card. 3.5 back of the Phillies in the wild card. The Phillies are the #1 team in the wild card. I mean, is it the time of the year if you're a team like the Dodgers or even Arizona for that matter, do you start looking at stuff like that?
Well, I think if you're the Diamondbacks, you feel like you have a chance to catch the Giants because you're getting Schilling back and Randy Johnson. If you're the Dodgers, I think you're right. You're going to have to start looking and say, well, we may not be able to catch the Giants, but we can catch the Diamondbacks and maybe we can, catch the Phillies. So I think that's the way the Dodgers are going to have to start looking pretty soon. I don't think we're at that point yet where you just say, well, I'm going for the wild card.
But it's got to be a little comfort.
Yeah, to know that it's fair.
Yeah, if you're the Dodgers, knowing that, hey, we're not really 9 out. We're only 3.5 out.
Because it's tough to catch. It's going to be tough to catch the Giants.
Here is Eduardo Perez, son of Tony, Hall of Famer. That's ball one. You're going to see Tony next week at the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies in Cooperstown?
Yeah, I'm sure Tony will be there. I'm going.
1 ball and no strikes to Eduardo Perez. And that's a foul back out of play. So you won't be with us next Sunday. I have to work with a non-immortal next Sunday.
Oh, I'm sure that you'll get him on the right track.
Yeah, but I won't. But I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm telling you right now.
All right.
All right.
Tony Perez called before the game. He said he wanted to see his granddaughter on TV, but I can't find her. I don't know where she's sitting out there.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know, Tony. I can't find her.
1 ball, 1 strike to Eduardo. That ball is hit well. Deep into left center. Way back there. Burnett's gone. A home run.
Well, 2 walks followed by home runs have given the Cardinals a 4-0 lead. And with the Dodgers offense, you have to start to wonder, even though it's the first inning, will they be able to score that many runs? And Eduardo Perez has done a fantastic job for the Cardinals. I talked to Tony Russo about him last year. He did a great job last year, and he's doing an even better job this year. And almost identical spot to Rolen, except Eduardo Perez goes straight away. And Rolen pulled it. And there you see the reaction of Perez, or Dallas Perez.
Here is Mike Matheny. That's a called strike. So 2 two-run homers. The Cardinals have staked their ace, the 12-game winner, Woody Williams, to a 4-0 lead, and Williams has not yet thrown a pitch. Matheny, the 7th hitter of the inning, and that misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. By the way, you mentioned Eduardo Perez. Usually he plays when a lefty's pitching, and he came into the game hitting .356 against left-handed pitching for the year. A ball and a strike. Shallow right. Sean Green looking up into the bright sunshine, and at long last the inning is over with 2 down and nobody on. That's when it got started on a walk to Pujols. 4 runs later, the Dodgers are coming up. Sunday night baseball from L.A. and the Dodgers are in a hole, down 4-0 before they even come to bat here against the slugging Cardinals. Let's take a look at the Dodger batting order now, presented by Nextel. Ricky Henderson will try and get him started. He's in left. And Alex Cora hitting much better lately at second. Sean Green also started to come around in right field. Paul Loduca, first base, hitting cleanup. Jeremy Burnitz in center. Adrian Beltre at third. David Ross, the young catcher, hits 7th. Cesar Izturis at short. And Odalis Perez, the pitcher, hitting 9th against the 36-year-old right-hander Woody Williams. Williams has just been outstanding ever since the Cardinals got him. They traded Ray Lankford to the Padres for Woody.
And John, he's 28-8 since that trade. I mean, that's amazing. But I mean, he specializes in control, throws strikes, has a real good curveball.
That ball is belted deep to left center field. That ball is on its way and gone. Another home run for 44-year-old Ricky Henderson.
Well, this is the new Ricky Henderson. He used to do it by getting on base, stealing bases. Since he's been with the Dodgers, now he's hitting home runs, and that's the 81st time he's done it in his career. Second here with the Dodgers. But that's one thing that Woody Williams will do. He throws strikes. He has the lead. He's going to throw strikes and make you swing the bat.
And he used to give up a lot of home runs. He has not been giving up as many since going to the Cardinals. That's a called strike to Alex Cora. So 81 times Ricky Henderson has led off a game with home runs, and he says that's maybe the one time in any ball game that he actually goes up there thinking about hitting a home run.
Well, Ricky definitely has power. I mean, he was a guy that could have hit third in his career if the opportunity would have afforded itself, but he was such a great leadoff hitter. He always ended up hitting the leadoff.
Scott Rolen throws out Alex Cora, and there is one away.
Now batting, right fielder.
Well, a lot of times with Ricky Henderson, you just try to throw strikes because You didn't, in the past, you didn't want to walk him, but Ricky's sitting on the fastball, got it pretty much in the middle of the plate and drilled it.
That was the 297th time that Ricky Henderson had hit a home run in the big leagues.
That's what I tell you. I mean, it's not like he had 81 leadoff home runs, but he has power. I mean, he's always had power.
It's only the third time that Ricky is hit leadoff for the Dodgers this year, and the first time he's led off a game with a homer for the Dodgers this year. You know how many times the Dodgers have had a guy lead off a game with a home run now? This is their 97th game. That's the first time.
You're right. He hit the home run in the third inning the other day.
Yeah. Dan Evans. I don't know if he's on the phone. Maybe he's calling the Newark ball club.
Who else is down there, right?
Got any more guys like Ricky? We don't care how old they are. Bo Hart and Sean Green is retired. On number 2, Sean Green, who came into the game
First baseman.
hitting only 257 with only 10 home runs.
And I talked to him before the game, John. He says, you know, one day he feels pretty good, next day he doesn't. But he doesn't feel like he has his power stroke. But he says he's working at it, and he's going to keep working.
Now, by the way, because the Dodgers offense has been so poor most of the year, you might think, wow, 4-0, they're dead. But they have overcome a 4-run deficit before. The Giants were here back in April and jumped out to a 4-0 lead against the Dodgers. And the final score, the Dodgers 16, the Giants 4.
Well,
you were stunned by that. That was a gasp.
They scored 16 unanswered runs, the Dodgers. I mean, they've been struggling all year with their offense. But, I mean, they do have some pretty good hitters on the ball club. They just have not been consistent.
They had, that's right, 16 unanswered runs that day.
Yeah. I think the Giants would have mixed one in here or there.
I think most of them were scored by Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Loduca.
More of a typical Woody Williams inning after the home run.
J.D. Drew made the grab on that one. Ricky Henderson gets one of those runs back. 4-1 Cardinals. Back in hot L.A. at Chavez Ravine. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan, your Sunday night telecasters. And there's a called strike. Now we got a couple of historic National League teams. I mean, these are teams been around for a long time, since the 19th century. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Dodgers. The Dodgers, of course, started out as the Brooklyn representative before moving to L.A. in '58. Next Sunday, we go from beautiful Dodger Stadium out here to historic Fenway Park. We'll see a couple of other longtime antagonists, the Yankees and the Red Sox at Fenway. Orlando Palmeiro, the former Angel in the World Series with the Angels last year. And I say we, Joe, but I unfortunately don't mean you.
Yeah, well, the rest of the crew will be there.
I mean, it's me and some non-Hall of Fame analyst. And I'm serious about this. You know, I kind of bask in the reflected glory of this Hall of Fame thing and the great career that you had.
Well, I mean,
I miss you when you're gone.
Well, I miss being here.
2-2 the count. Dallas Perez. You mean you miss being here like it's kind of a downer having to rub elbows with all those Hall of Fame players and all those all-time greats?
I do miss being here, John, until I get there with them. And once I get there and start talking to, you know, Bob Gibson, Warren Spahn, all those guys, well, I do kind of forget about Sunday night baseball for a day. Just for a day, though.
Willie McCovey said he was going there.
Oh, great. I haven't seen Willie. Hasn't been there in a while. That'll be great. Every year they ask me, where's Willie? Because he hasn't been there in a while.
I could see you and Bob Gibson and McCovey and all the great Hall of Famers now saying, who's that guy you work with on Sunday Night Baseball?
You know, what's funny is I hang with the pitchers more than I do anyone else. The ones that got me out all the time.
Woody Williams, the hitter. Now, Woody Williams, when he was
good hitter
in college, he'd pitch one game a week, and then he played shortstop for all the other games. I mean, this guy can hit. 268 average right now. 3 doubles and a triple. 6 runs batted in.
I asked when I went into the clubhouse today, and I found out that Jim Edmonds wasn't playing, that J.D. Drew was playing. I asked Edmonds, I said, well, can you pinch hit today? He said, and Woody Williams said, well, who would he pinch hit for? He said, I can hit as well as he can. I mean, that was a joke. At least I thought it was a joke. He was serious.
Hits that ball out into left center. See, he's got a little kind of warning track power, though, Joe. We found the flaw in his offensive game. 2 down, and Bo Hart comes up. But Woody Williams,
he was serious.
I mean, he can hit.
Yeah, he can hit, but he was very serious. He said, who was he pinch hit for, Joe? I said, oh, I don't know, Woody. And I left it alone.
Well, if they're bringing a right-hander, he could hit maybe for Eduardo Perez late in the game.
Right.
Bo Hart, the hitter. Well, through the first time in the batting order, he's faced everybody now. There have been 7 balls put in play against Perez, and 6 of them have been hit in the air. Palmeiro hitting the ball back to Perez in this inning. The only guy who's hit a ground ball. Bo Hart hit a shallow fly ball to right center his first time, and he eases that one through there for a strike. 0-2. Pretty good crowd at Dodger Stadium tonight. Dodgers continue to draw extremely well, even without much offense. Fastball misses off the outside. The crowd tonight should put them past the 1.9 million mark here at home. On their way toward 3 million again. A ball and 2 strikes. And Hart fouls one in the batter's box area. Still 1-2. You know, we're talking about the Dodgers and their offensive problems. I mean, they have, coming into this game, had scored 343 runs. The Cardinals, 544 runs. The Cardinals outscored the Dodgers by more than 200 runs. And Hart strikes out. Perez comes back with a 3-up, 3-down inning. It'll be Jeremy Burnett, the slugger, over from the Mets to lead it off for the Dodgers when we come back.
John?
Thanks, Pam. And here's Jeremy Burnett. And that ball is way back and gone. First ball swinging against Williams, and Burnett with a soaring, majestic home run into the bleachers in right. It is 4-2 Cardinals.
Well, that's one of the fastest home run trots I've seen in a long time. But the 2 guys they acquired to bring some offense to this ball club have done so in this ball game. Burnett and Ricky Henderson. But again, you know, sometimes you get in trouble if you're a guy like Woody Williams and you throw strikes and you have a 4-0 lead. You're trying to throw strikes. You're trying to keep from walking anyone. And look at that pitch again. Very similar pitch to what Ricky hit, pretty much in the middle of the plate. And it's because he's just trying to throw strikes with a big lead.
19th home run of the year for Jeremy Burnett, and his first as a Dodger. And that's too low.
But he does bring that threat, you know, to this lineup. And they have been lacking that threat, you know, other than Shawn Green since Gary Sheffield left.
So the Dodgers, as you mentioned, Joe, the 2 guys brought in are the 2 guys who've hit the home run so far. 3-0 the count to Adrian Beltre. I just can't imagine that Beltre is not going to get real hot.
Well, I agree with you, and most people would say that because he is a good hitter. He has been. I mean, he's always showed us that he could have streaks where he'd get hot and swing the bat well, but he has not done so this year.
224 average, which is astounding. 7 homers. It's going to be a foul out of play. 3-2 the count. You know, one thing, standing at the batting cage, he's talking about Henderson and Burnett, and they were down there keeping everybody loose. And, you know, having fun, having laughs. Nice pickup by Rolen. And he throws him out. Wow. Rolen is one of the best with the glove.
That's why, you know, when they talk about third baseman, you know, Scott Rolen's name comes up first as far as defense. Very good third baseman.
Now, when you go up to Cooperstown, you'll see probably Mike Schmidt, Brooks Robinson. But there aren't that many third basemen who are in the Hall of Fame.
I think third base has the fewest by position members in the Hall of Fame than anyone. And a nice play there by Rolen. Gets up and has a strong arm, throws Beltray out. But you're right. I just noticed that the other day. I saw this year's book for the Cooperstown to the induction ceremonies, and I looked, and by position, you know, third base is the least represented of all the positions.
David Ross, that ball is driven deep to center field, way back there, and another home run. Ross, the rookie, to the deepest part of the ballpark and out of here with plenty to spare. Woody Williams had not allowed more than one homer in any of his last 27 starts. And the Dodgers have touched him for 3 big flies in the first 2 innings.
Well, watch. All of them are fastballs, and watch where they are. Look at this. I mean, that's up and pretty much in the middle. Ricky's was definitely in the middle, and Burnett's was also in the middle of the plate.
Cesar Izturis.
That's the first curveball that he has thrown. Real, you know, I mean, and that's one of his best pitches, the curveball. But he had a lead, and he was trying to throw strikes, trying to get ahead in the count. Didn't work out for him.
And ironically, he threw the curve. He throws another one there.
Yeah.
To the guy who is the least likely to hit a home run among the Dodgers. Izturis has not homered in any of his last 471 at-bats as he fouls one back. That's the longest streak for any non-pitcher currently in the major leagues. The Cardinals have hit 2 two-run homers. The Dodgers have hit 3 solo homers, accounting for all of the 7 runs that have been scored here. Izturis, 471 at-bats without a homer. The last time the Dodgers had a guy who went that long or longer without a home run, it was Brett Butler. And Butler, he did not have much power. That's pulled foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I mean, it's tough to bunt a home run.
Well, he was a great bunter, you're right, and an excellent leadoff hitter.
I mean, he was one of the premier leadoff men. Found a way to get on base. 1 and 2 to Izturis. Now that is a part of the game that the young Izturis is still learning. He rarely takes a walk. His on-base average is below 300. And he's got a lot of speed. I mean, he could be a weapon if he could figure out a way to get on base more often. Ross with the homer to make it a 1-run game, and Izturis has gotten himself on base right here. J.D. Drew picks it up in the alleyway. Izturis with a big turn at first, and he'll go back.
Number 45.
Good job of hitting there by Izturis. I mean, he took the curveball and just went the other way with it. I think you're going to see Woody Williams mix in a lot more breaking balls now than he did early in the ball game. We had that 4-0 lead. That is now down to a 1-run lead. He's going to have to make better pitches. But that's good hitting there. A curveball off the plate outside, and he's lined it over shortstop.
Cardinals Perez, 1 hit in 31 at-bats for the year. Izturis back to the bag at first. Izturis has blazing speed, but only 5 stolen bases for the year. So, Joe, based on that record, 1 hit, 31 at-bats, I believe he's going to bunt.
You know what, I'm going to agree with you this time.
And
well, he's going to try to bunt.
He made an attempt to bunt, and that one got the catcher, Mike Matheny. A foul ball.
Good job there by Williams, because as soon as he saw him square around, he tried to throw the high fastball, which is the toughest pitch to bunt, and he fouled it off.
Rolen very shallow at third. Perez already showing bunt. Now he swings away and misses.
And smart move there again by the Cardinals. They throw him a curveball, didn't come back with the fastball.
So, I mean, Woody and Matheny seem to surmise that the Dodgers were likely to. Now, that's got to be from scouting.
I agree with you. That what you do is you watch, and everyone has tendencies, whether it's Jim Tracy or Tony La Russa, they have things that they like to do in certain situations.
Too high. He was showing bunt there. But you mean tendencies, I mean, they knew that?
Well, they just probably guessed. I don't think they knew. I mean, you have, you know, a lot of times he may take the bunt off.
But it was an educated guess.
Yeah, educated guess on the fact that they have something to go on. They've seen it happen before.
Strike 3 called. So a wasted out there. Perez unable to move these tourists over.
I've always felt that curveball should be the easiest pitch to bunt. And you see clearly it's in the strike zone.
You know, I didn't see it all that clearly.
No. I thought maybe that was just me.
Here's Woody Williams now to face Ricky Henderson. Henderson launched one to start off the Dodger first inning, his 81st time leading off a game with a homer, more than any other player in history. The man whose record he broke was Bobby Bonds, who did a lot of leadoff hitting, not as much as Ricky, because Bobby did hit third and fourth and in power positions a lot. Into right center, shallow, and that is Perez. So the inning is over, but 2 runs for the Dodgers. We got a game of home run derby going at Dodger Stadium. J.D. Drew, Albert Pujols, Scott Rolen, big power coming up with the Cardinals. They lead 4-3.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Nextel, brought to you by The Home Depot. You can do it, we can help. And Quiznos. Try our Tuscan chicken sub. Toasty.
Dodger Stadium, L.A. Sunday Night Baseball. The Cardinals 4, the Dodgers 3. 83% of the hits in this game so far have been home runs. We'll keep you abreast of that percentage as we go along. As a called strike is in there to J.D. Drew. That Marty Aronoff keeping us posted. J.D. Drew hit a fly ball to left his first time up, and a little delay is a beach ball. Got loose out in center field, retrieved by Burnitz, and he slam dunks it over the top of the wall out there. So here's Drew. He's a powerful left-handed hitter. And a hard breaking ball from Perez off the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fieldon Culbreth is the home plate umpire tonight, with Terry Kraft, Charlie Relaford, and Justin Clem on the bases. Fastball off the outside. 2-1. Albert Pujols on deck. Jim Edmonds not in the lineup. Injured his right shoulder, apparently in that home run derby on Monday. 2-1 the count. That ball is belted down the right field line. If it's fair, it's gone. Foul ball.
That was that ball stayed inside, and J.D. Drew turned on it, but just a little too quickly. And you can see it is foul.
You know, this is just like that show you did home run derby last Monday,
Yeah.
except we don't have that little camera right out in front of the hitter on the ground. You know, that's all we're missing here. And A-Rod, where's A-Rod? 2-2 the count. Ooh, nice pitch, a hard slider down and away, and Drew just could not even fight it off. 1 away.
One of the things I've noticed this year, John, is a lot of left-handed hitters who are pretty good hitters are struggling against left-handed pitching, and sometimes it may be because they're, you know, over swinging, but there have been a lot of good hitters who are left-handed struggle against left-handed pitching this year.
J.D. Drew came into the game hitting only .229 against the lefties, and he's 0 for 2 in this game. Albert Pujols, who doesn't struggle so much against the lefties. Albert had a .409 batting average this year against left-handed pitching coming in. .357 against right-handers. Hits that one foul. 0-2.
Jim Edmonds, you know, his numbers are off against left-handed pitchers as well. In fact, you know, he has a sore shoulder, but they pinch hit for him yesterday, which was shocking to me, but they used Eduardo Perez to pinch hit for him. And his shoulder was bothering him, but they pinch hit for him in the 8th inning yesterday with Eduardo Perez and runners at first and second.
Over the mound, over the bag. He's Torres, throws him out.
He's good. You know, when we went around the defense, I mean, this guy is a good shortstop. A lot of range, good quick release, strong arm. This is not an easy play because this is where he is. He has to go all the way from deep in the hole to get this behind the bag. Look at that, throwing off his wrong foot. I mean, he kind of turns. This is behind the bag. Now watch, he can't turn completely, throws kind of almost sidearm, but throws accurately to first base. Very good defensive player.
Now Scott Rolen taking a called strike. Well, Jim Tracy believes that Izturis should be considered for the Gold Glove at shortstop this year. He's only made 7 errors playing every day, and he's making the routine plays, and he's making the spectacular plays too. Although when you don't hit much, you don't often get considered as strongly.
Which is not supposed to be the case, but it is the case. Very rarely will you see guys not hit well win a Gold Glove. For some reason, it seems to go hand in hand. It's not supposed to.
The late Mark Belanger was one of the exceptions.
Well, there have been a lot of exceptions, but the general rule is that, you know, if you have a good year, offensively and defensively, you win the Gold Glove.
Yeah, as a defensive player, I really like his bat. By the way, Odalis Perez, since Eduardo's home run, capped a 4-run first-inning rally, has retired every other Cardinal. Since then, he has retired 6 in a row. And there have been 5 homers hit in the first 2 innings of this game. That ties the most home runs hit in a full game at Dodger Stadium this year. And Rolen draws the walk. Rolen, who hit a 2-run homer his first time.
Well, he wasn't sharp when the game started. I mean, he gave up a couple of home runs, and watch where the pitches are. They're very similar spots. Inside and down, inside and down, inside part of the plate and down, and to right-handed hitters, and that's not exactly where he wanted to throw it. And both of them were able to hit the ball out of the ballpark. It's interesting. Perez's was lower, but he hit it to center field, and Rolen pulled his.
Now Renteria, and back to the bag at first is Rolen. Perez has had 4 pickoffs this year. Well, each of the homers that he allowed in the first inning came right after he had walked somebody. So now he has walked Rolen, and here is Renteria, who's got some power. 10 home runs, 26 doubles. I was glad to see Renteria had voted in as a starter, because obviously the word's getting out about him. I mean, this guy's a sensational shortstop defensively, and he is just an outstanding. He's a force offensively. In the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes.
For some reason, he's worried about Rolen at first base, and I think LaDuca's going to come in and tell him that. No, he's going to go get some glasses. I guess he needs glasses over there. But I mean, I don't know why you're so worried about Scott Rolen. That's how you get in trouble, worrying about the runner at first, because he changed the delivery.
I think he's got a problem with his glove.
Oh, okay.
They sent him a new piece of equipment out there, a new glove.
There's Jack Clark, the hitting instructor, and the guy that was in our highlight open.
You know, Tommy Lasorda walked into our booth just as we were looking at that before the game. It was kind of ironic. And you were kind of apologetic to Tommy about, as Tommy was a little, that's what you're showing to open your telecast?
But Tommy seemed to think that we did this, that it was our job to put that tease together.
I had nothing to do with it,
I
Tommy.
did the same here, Tommy.
There goes Rolen. And that's a base hit to center. So Rolen will head to third and maybe more. They're going to wave him home. Here comes the relay. And into second goes Renteria. Burnitz overran the ball, and Rolen ends up scoring all the way from first. 5-3 Cardinals.
Great job of base running by Rolen, and he never slowed down. I mean, if he would have slowed down, they wouldn't have been able to send him. And watch him. He takes off. He looks. He sees the ball is hit in the center field. He keeps going. Ball hits in his glove and bounces out. Now, Rolen never slowed down. See, look, he never slowed down all the way. Good job. Good coordinated job by he and the third base coach. And he slides around and tags it with his hand.
So a single, an error on the center fielder, no RBI. And here is Eduardo Perez. Eduardo takes inside. 1 ball and no strikes. He homered his first time. Well, Burnett just can't believe it.
Well, I think he's reacting because he probably didn't have a play at third anyway, because Rolen was running on the pitch, and his job was to get the ball back to the infield and hold Renteria at first. So I'm sure that's why he's upset. It wasn't going to be a play at third.
So really, I mean, it's a physical error, but
yeah,
the mental approach was what caused the physical.
And you have to remember, the guy hasn't been a center fielder. I mean, that's not his natural position. So
an unforced error.
Unforced error.
Five to 3 Cardinals, the first run of the game that is scored without a home run being hit. That's off the outside. 3-0 to Perez. Another right-handed hitter, Mike Matheny, is on deck. Every time Dallas Perez walks somebody, the guy scores moments later. He's walked 3, and all 3 of those walks have become runs. First 2 walks were followed by homers. And that is ball 4. 4 walks in these first 3 innings issued by Perez. You see, Burnett
for the Cardinals
is still out there berating himself.
Well, Jeremy, you know, he knows that he made a mistake, and again, you know, he doesn't want to cost his team a run, and that's what he did in that instance. But when you haven't played center field on a regular basis, you see the runner around second, you think you have a shot at him, you charge the ball and try to take that shot. But I don't think he was going to have his play at third base.
And Burnett's mostly been a right fielder with the Mets, and before that with the Brewers. Both runners are going, and it's a double steal. Matheny swinging and missing. No throw made by Ross. Renteria steals third, and Perez steals second. 24th steal of the year for Renteria, who led the way. The third for Eduardo Perez.
Well, he takes one look and then he goes, and a good job by the Cardinals to figure that out. Again, that comes in on the scouting report a lot of time, that, you know, he only takes one look at second base.
Wilson Alvarez, veteran left-hander, started to warm up in the LA bullpen. Runners at second and third. It is already 5-3 Cardinals. Matheny flied out his first time. Now he's behind 0-2. Scott Rolen knew it, the 2-run homer in the first after Pujols had walked. Got the 2-out walk here in the third. And then he took off, and Renteria singled, and he ended up scoring after the error by Burnett in center. A ball and 2 strikes to Matheny. The left-handed batting Orlando Palmeiro is up next.
We've seen a lot of, you know, mistakes made on the bases the past, you know, few weeks, but great job there by Rolen, you know, just to score from first on that single in the air.
Strike 3 with a slider, and that's the inning. But the Cardinals get an unearned run. The couple of walks, a hit, and an error. 5-3 St. Louis. Sunday Night Baseball from L.A. Cardinals 5, the Dodgers 3. The Dodgers coming up now, last of the third, against Woody Williams. Alex Cora hitting second in the order. He really got jammed in that one. Swung at a bad pitch and is thrown out by Bo Hart. 1 away.
Now batting, right fielder, Sean Green.
Jeremy Burnett, who made that error, and when the inning ended, he went back in the dugout. Was still very upset with himself. Here's Sean Green. Well, he's bringing some fire into that dugout anyway.
Well, one of the things I thought that both Ricky and Jeremy Burnett would bring is some excitement to this ball club. I mean, this is kind of a laid-back ball club, the Dodgers. I mean, if you just think about them, they're kind of laid back, and neither of those two guys are laid back. Ricky Henderson's definitely, he brings a little charisma to the job, and so does Jeremy Burnett, and I like that.
Sean Green, 2-0 the count. Backhanding it, Bo Hart. And Green is gone at number 2. Now here's an update from the studio with Pam Ward.
All right, John, the first place Giants taking on the Rockies. Alberto Castillo getting the start at catcher for San Francisco, and he delivers off Denny Nagel a grand slam. His first homer in 2 years. The Giants win it 8-4. John?
All right, Pam. Yeah, Alberto Castillo, he's been around a while. Excellent receiver. Never hit a whole lot, but got a shot because Benito Santiago got hurt.
Well, as I said before, the Giants are going to be very difficult to catch.
National League West, the Giants who just swept a 4-game series from Colorado, now by 7 over the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks got Randy Johnson back today, but they lost in San Diego. The big unit pitched pretty well by all accounts. Loduca loops one into left field for a base hit. That'll bring up Jeremy Burnett with a chance to tie the ball game. We're going to ask our Nextel poll question now. Of these trade acquisitions, who will have the greatest impact? Burnett's here in L.A. Armando Benitez with the Yankees. Uget Urbina with Florida. Roberto Alomar, Carl Everett going to the White Sox. Shannon Stewart going to Minnesota. You can log on to ESPN.com to cast your ballot or your Nextel phone.
John, while we have a break here, I want to wish happy birthday to Paige Pasquarelli. She's 16 years old today. And our illustrious statistician and journalist, Peter Pasquarelli, is his daughter. She's back in Philadelphia. It's 9 o'clock back there, so I'm sure she's still awake. Yeah. Still celebrating her 16th birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Paige.
birthday.
And Peter is depressed that he has to be with us instead of with you. That's for sure. Again this week, in fact, he's depressed. 2-1 the count to Burnett, who homered his first time. So you're not a journalist, you're an analyst.
No, I'm an analyst. Peter's a journalist. He used to write a column. He's a column.
And he's
he still writes. Yeah, of course. We wouldn't have him on Sunday Night Baseball if he wasn't, would we? We wouldn't have anyone on this telecast that wasn't very good at what they do. I mean, that includes Marty Aronoff.
Yeah. I still feel like in some ways that you are a journalist.
Let's not start.
Burnett's down the right field line. Way back there. It's tied up. And I tell you what, he wanted that one badly. He got it. The 4th homer for the Dodgers. And the home run derby continues.
Well, that's what we said. He brings a little fire to this team. And I think Ricky brings some charisma. So they're going to be a little different team than they were before these two players got here. And when we talked about him being a power threat, he's definitely a power threat. It looked like it was a little slider or something inside, and he didn't get it in far enough.
There's ball 1 to Beltre. Beltre grounded out his first time. Well, Burnett's, maybe he can start pounding on himself there for a moment and bask in the sunshine a little bit. Base hit for Beltre. Well, the Cardinals are not used to seeing Woody Williams treated like this.
Well, he threw him a slider inside for a strike early in the count. This is supposed to be in again, so that doesn't break much. And kind of just a little flat slider on the middle of the plate, and he hammered it.
Well, Williams had allowed 9 home runs in 135 innings before tonight. And now he's given up 4 homers in 2 2/3 innings. Well, Jeremy Burnett has hit 2 homers. He's knocked in 3 runs in the first 3 innings against a 12-game winner.
Yeah, well, Woody Williams missed his spot there. That was supposed to be a slider in.
as he threw him on the first pitch. He couldn't get it in, and Jeremy Burnett, when you are a power threat and they make a mistake, you make them pay.
But Burnett looks like he's still upset about that error.
Well, I mean, he figures he's driven in 3 and let in 1. I guess that's the way he's looking at it.
Here's David Ross, who homered over the center field wall his first time, the rookie, 26-year-old catcher out of the University of Florida. And he's got 6 home runs and only 75 at bats. I have a thought about Burnett, though, and about being upset. It's working for him,
right? Well, some guys it does work for them.
He plays well angry.
Yeah, some guys play better when they get upset with themselves.
The Dodgers in 3 innings have equaled their best home run total for a game already. 5-5 in the 3rd inning.
Well, John, Jim Tracy knew that if he put Jeremy Burnett in center field, Ricky Henderson in left, that's not going to be a great defensive outfield. I mean, you know, he knows that. So if when they get a lead, they take Ricky out in left field. I mean, that's one of the things that they're going to do. But I mean, you can't. Jeremy Burnett is doing them a favor by trying to play center field.
Edgar Renteria over to Bo Hart for the force out on Beltray. Ross hits into the force. The inning is over. But Jeremy Burnett is putting on a show here tonight. 6 home runs have already been hit, 2 by Burnett. Beautiful evening in Southern California. Actually, more like late afternoon. The Dodgers 5, the Cardinals 5. We've only played 3 innings. There have been 6 home runs hit, and 4 have been hit by the Dodgers. The Dodgers? In 96 games before tonight, the Dodgers had hit 63 homers. The Cardinals had hit 127 before tonight, more than twice as many as the Dodgers, but the Dodgers have hit 4 in 3 innings. The Cardinals have hit 2. It's 5-5. We start the 4th. Jeremy Burnett has hit 2 himself. Orlando Palmeiro, he swung at it. A ball and 2 strikes. Palmeiro, then Woody Williams and Bo Hart for the Cardinals here. Ricky Henderson got the Dodgers' first home run, leading off. He kind of set the tone for the Dodgers offense tonight.
Well, you're right, because the Dodgers, when they've fallen behind early, they've struggled so far this season, and he got them on the board quickly.
Fastball. Maybe a little off the outside, maybe a little bit low. Maybe both. 2-2 the count. There's Johnny. I have the wrong year. Mitchell Page. Yeah. I was going to say Johnny Lewis. What year is that?
Way back.
Izturis throws out Palmeiro, but keep that name in mind. Mitchell Page. I have a story about that. Tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ESPN 2. The Chicago Cubs take on the Atlanta Braves in Atlanta. Sean Estes should be going for Dusty Baker's ball club against Shane Reynolds. Some of you may see the Angels taking on the Devil Rays. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific tomorrow, ESPN 2. Gary Sheffield having an MVP caliber season for Atlanta. The Braves got 8 runs in the 8th inning today. They were behind the Mets 8-3, and they scored 8 in the 8th and won the game 11-8.
I saw a couple of days ago Gary was 5 for 5 with a couple of home runs.
0-1 the count to Woody Williams. That's a ball from Odalis Perez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Woody Williams, how do you think? Now the Cardinals pitching has been a problem for the Cardinals this year. We mentioned all the home runs they've hit. They've actually given up more homers than they've hit. But they've had this sea of tranquility most of the time when Woody Williams pitches. You know, sanity gets restored. He came in with a 3.01 ERA, only 9 homers given up in 135 innings. And the Dodgers are clobbering him off the outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Woody had not given up more than 1 homer in a start since last year. 27 consecutive starts with no more than 1 homer allowed. Change up in the dirt for a ball. 3-2.
Well, you can see he's a pretty good hitter. His approach, he doesn't chase pitches. He waits on the ball well. And he looks like a hitter.
Woody Williams, who had a losing record in his career when the Cardinals acquired him. He was 58-62. That ball is hit a long way. Deep to left center. Henderson back. Gone! And Woody Williams is now in the home run derby himself. He's given up 4, but now he's hit 1, and he has put himself back ahead 6-5. His 3rd career home run.
Well, I mean, he has the approach of a guy that plays every day. I mean, his stride, he's patient. I mean, he just looks like a hitter. That ball splits everything, the middle of the plate, but you still have to hit it. You know, a lot of times we say, well, that ball's in the middle of the plate. Well, you still have to hit it out of the ballpark. It doesn't just go out by itself. Good job there by Woody Williams to take advantage of it. But Woody says, I might need some more runs. I better try to pitch in here.
Well, he's making good on that comment to you before the game about Jim Edmonds pinch hitting for home.
Yeah, that was a good point.
Bo Hart, base hit to center. His first hit. Wilson Alvarez again up in the Dodger bullpen. I mean, the Dodgers, they haven't often scored as many as 5 runs in a game. And to score 5 in 3 innings and still be behind?
Definitely not the trend that we've seen here in L.A. Great pitching, poor offense.
But 12 hits so far in this game. 7 homers. So 58% of all the hits in the game have been home runs. So Peter Pasquarelli comments, Joe, we came to Dodger Stadium, the great pitcher's ballpark, and turned out it was Coors Field.
Well, one of the things, the ball does travel well here in the daytime, you know, and this game started in the daytime, so to speak, and the ball does travel well. It's at night where the ball doesn't travel here in Dodger Stadium.
Well, I'm thinking, though, they've had a lot of day games, right?
Yeah.
But they hadn't had 7 home runs in the first 3.5 innings in any of them. Not so far this year. See the Dodgers, whose pitching has been so strong all year. They've been giving up a few more runs, though, in July. And they've given up 6 runs so far tonight. Dallas Perez, who's had a visit from Jim Colborn, has even given up a home run now to Woody Williams. But you're saying, man, once the sun goes down, maybe Woody's ball wouldn't have been a home run.
Yeah, it was his was not into the bleachers as the other ones were.
J.D. Drew, he's a home run threat. He hadn't hit one yet. What's wrong with him? I mean, they've been, let's see, Rolen, Perez, and Woody Williams have all homered for the Cardinals. Ricky Henderson, David Ross, and Jeremy Burnett's twice with home runs for the Dodgers. Cardinals lead the game 6-5 and have out-homered the Dodgers have out-homered the Cardinals 4-3. 1 ball, 1 strike to J.D. Drew. He's flied out to left and struck out. Everybody wants to get their next at bat. I mean, when you're in a game like this and you're a hitter, I mean, does it feel contagious? Do you feel like, well, today's a day to hit?
Well, hitting is contagious. I mean, it does happen that way.
And Drew chases that slider again. He struck out chasing one in the 3rd.
He's thrown Drew a lot of breaking balls, and Drew has had problems with it. Drew basically because, you know, he's the only left-hander in the lineup. Except for Palmeiro. I mean, he's the only everyday player.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And he tried the slider, bouncing it in there. Ross made the save, keeping Hart at first base with 1 out. I was mentioning Mitchell Page, the hitting instructor for the Cardinals. He's an old teammate of Ricky Henderson's. Mitchell Page played with Oakland, was with Oakland when Ricky came up in 1979. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. A fastball got it.
Good job of changing up on J.D. Drew. He threw him a lot of breaking balls earlier, and now he sneaks a fastball by him. Right out there on the acceptable limit.
Yeah, that dotted line on our K zone shows 2 inches off the outside, so that ball maybe 1.5 inches away from the plate. Here is Albert Pujols, slider in the dirt. Pujols has walked and scored a run and grounded out to short. He is 0 for 1. So the Cardinals have scored 6 runs in the first 4 innings. And Pujols has not hit a homer, has not driven in a run. Hadn't even had a hit yet. Pujols, the Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. And second in the MVP voting last year behind Barry Bonds as he bounces a foul off to the left. And this guy, he's 23 years old. From the Dominican Republic. His family moved to the U.S. when he was 16 years old. And they were in New York for a brief time, then relocated outside of Kansas City. He went to junior college in Kansas City. And it's not so long ago that he was in junior college. Came up from A ball to win the Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. Off the outside with a changeup.
When I first saw him, 2 years ago, I said he reminds me of a young Tony Perez, one of my former teammates, because his approach is very similar to Tony's. Of course, he's hitting for a real high average, but his approach is the same, left center to right center, and they both attack the ball. It's not like they're swinging hard. They're really attacking the baseball.
Two and two the count. Perez is up over 90 pitches thrown in this game, and it's only the 4th inning. I mean, you face this Cardinal team. The Cardinals team batting average is .286. And they're averaging about, what, 5.6 runs a game. It's not an easy night for a pitcher to have to face this lineup. Cardinals' real problem has been scoring enough runs because they've been giving up a lot. Back to the bag is hard. I mean, here you got the Cardinals, the #1 offense in the league so far, and the Dodgers, the #1 pitching in the league. Cardinals best in batting average, best in runs scored, second in home runs. Atlanta leads the league in that category. And the Braves are right behind the Cardinals in a lot of those other offensive categories. Pujols drives one. Burnett's back. That ball is gone. Albert Pujols to the right of straightaway. And that is his 29th homer. His 89th and 90th runs batted in, and that is going to be the end of Odalis Perez. The Cardinals have hit 4 homers and have put 8 runs on the board, all against Perez in 3 2/3 innings. 8-5 Cardinals. The runs are adding up more quickly than we can count them. We'll be back. Cardinals 8, Dodgers 5. We're in the top of the 4th inning, and there's Wilson Alvarez, veteran left-hander who has resurrected his career and has worked mostly out of the Dodgers bullpen, although he made a start just before the All-Star break. See Alvarez numbers for the year. He's pitched pretty well for them, actually. Odalis Perez, that was another story.
Well, there's another fastball that pretty much up. That one's toward the outside half, but that's where Pujols hits the ball to right center. I mean, even in the home run derby, his home run pattern was left center, right center. He didn't try to pull the ball much. And as soon as Pujols hit it, he knew it was a home run. I mean, that's how hard he hit it.
Scott Rolen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rolen has hit a 2-run homer and walked. The Cardinals have hit 4 home runs. Pujols, Rolen, Perez, and the pitcher Woody Williams have all hit home runs in these first 4 innings. And of course that equals what the Dodgers have done. The Dodgers have also hit 4. Henderson, Burnett's twice, and Ross with home runs for L.A. Ricky led off the game with 1. Burnett's has hit 2. Fastball at the knees for a strike. see, Alvarez, we're getting around 91, 92 miles an hour with that fastball. Cardinals hit 4 home runs, and the guy who led the club in home run hitting is not playing tonight, Jim Edmonds. Although Pujols has now tied him on that list. Well, Joe, I haven't seen a game like this, with this many home runs this early in the game, since the home run derby you worked last Monday.
This looks a little bit like home run derby.
That's a foul out of play. Scott Rolen went deep. He hit the first home run of the night back in the first.
Fastball down and in.
Three and 2 to Rolen. Very protective with that swing. A fastball right on the outside, and he fouls it into the crowd. 8-5 Cardinals in the fourth. Have been 13 runs, 13 hits, and 8 of the hits have been home runs. About 62% of the hits tonight have been homers, according to Marty Aronoff. Willie Williams has hit 1 and allowed 4, and he's got the lead. And it's a walk. So Rolen walks for the second time. Perez went 3 2/3 innings.
For the Cardinals,
and allowed 8 runs while he was in there on 6 hits. He walked 4, and 3 of those 4 walks became runs. And he allowed 4 homers. It's going to be one of the worst games that Perez has had in his young career.
And especially as he's been throwing the ball well lately.
Renteria to center. Burnett's on the warning track. What a disappointment. It's Torres, then Alvarez, and Ricky Henderson coming up. The Dodgers down. Sunday Night Baseball, home run derby. 8 homers, and we're in the last of the 4th inning at Dodger Stadium, the pitcher's ballpark. Cesar Izturis, if he's going to hit a homer this year, tonight would figure to be the night, but not right now. He's tagged out at first by Albert Pujols. There is 1 away. Now let's go to the studio for an update with Pam Ward.
All right, John, how about some more home runs for you? This is Houston up 3-0 in the 6th. Jeff Bagwell off Danny Graves, the 2nd homer of the game, number 400 on his career, the 35th player in Major League history to hit 400. And yes, the Astros won at 6-3. John and Joe.
Thanks, Pam, and congratulations to Jeff Bagwell. That's a pretty good list to be on.
Yeah, 400 home runs, a lot of home runs.
And he played most of his career. His home ballpark was the Houston Astrodome.
It was bigger than most at that time. This one is a good hitter's ballpark he's playing in now. And the one he was playing in today is even better because that's Cincinnati.
Now the Great American Ballpark seems to be a great American home run hitter's ballpark. Well, the opinionated Jim Rome is back on ESPN. Catch Rome is Burning, presented by Original Coors, Tuesdays at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, and 4 Pacific. Jim Rome back on ESPN. And he's a great baseball fan.
Yes.
Baseball commentator. I mean, he keeps up on the game. He has opinions about it. And on other sports, too. There's ball 1 to Ricky Henderson. Ricky has hit a home run, and he is flied out to right center. You know, I think the Dodgers probably need to start thinking about making some trades to get some pitching in here. Their offense obviously is great. They just can't keep the other team from scoring. 1-1 to Ricky.
You know, what'll be interesting, though, is, Dave Roberts is going to be coming back soon. And the Dodgers are going to have to make a decision on what they do with Ricky. I mean, as far as how much he will play. Because Dave Roberts is a true center fielder. At least he plays that position. And Jeremy Burnett, especially against right-handed pitching, is going to have to play.
Dave Roberts, I talked to him before the game today. He was taking batting practice. Henderson hits a foul out of play off to the right. 2-2 the count. Ricky, who led off the game with a home run for the Dodgers, setting the tone. The 81st time he has led off a game with a home run. His 297th career homer. Roberts said he'd probably go out on a rehab assignment tomorrow. Ricky just got a piece of that one and fighting it off.
He's lucky there because he decided to swing at the last second and was able to get a piece of it. Looked like he was completely fooled on it. Curveball, and he's completely fooled, and then he just kind of waves at it. But he gets a piece of it. Now he gets another pitch.
Well, what he ended up doing, I think, is what he was hoping to do with that maneuver. 2-2. Popped up.
Good pitch by Williams.
Second baseman Bo Hart. And Alvarez will hold it first.
That was a good pitch because he threw him a curveball. He barely fouled. And he came back in with a fastball under the hands. And here's a fastball that's running in on Ricky. And you see he can't quite get to it. See how he pulls his hands in. He can't get to it anyway.
So Ricky is 1 for 3 in this game. And 4 for 12 as a Dodger with 2 homers.
Well, Ricky has actually mellowed a little bit because I remember when he used to hit a home run, he kind of tugged at his shirt a little bit and do a few things before he ran to first base. He just kind of dropped the bat and started running on that home run.
Alex Cora, the hitter, 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, Ricky ends up signing here with the Dodgers, but Tony La Russa, when Eli Marrero, the Cardinals right fielder, got injured back in May the 11th, La Russa reportedly was lobbying Walt Jocketty, the Cardinals front office, to go out and sign Ricky Henderson. And La Russa was quoted as saying, I don't know how many times I said that I thought that Ricky would have fit here.
Well, I think what he means there also is personality-wise, he thinks Ricky would have fit in well with that ball club. You know, they have some veteran players over there, guys have been in the big leagues a while. And I think Ricky seems to thrive in that environment, you know, with some veteran players.
And the way La Russa tells it, it's not so much that nobody at the Cardinals wanted Ricky except him. It was more budgetary.
Yeah.
They want to keep whatever money that they might have to see if they can fortify their pitching staff. Take on more salary that way. That's Renteria. Bo Hart covering second with a force out on Alvarez, and that ends the inning. Shawn Green left on deck. Eduardo Perez coming up. Cardinals lead. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball from Los Angeles. The St. Louis Cardinals leading the Dodgers 8-5. Wilson Alvarez in relief of Odalis Perez. Ready to go here in the Cardinal half of the 5th inning. Eduardo Perez, Mike Matheny, and Orlando Palmeiro due up for the Cardinals. Perez hit a 2-run homer in the first, then he walked in the third. And that fastball a little bit low. 1 ball to no strikes. The Cardinals 8 runs with 6 hits. 4 of those 6 hits have been home runs. The Dodgers 5 runs with 8 hits, and 4 of those 8 hits have been home runs. Dodgers have committed 1 error. One of the Cardinal total of 8 runs, an unearned run on the error by Burnett earlier. You know, one thing I'm very grateful about, I'm so glad that we didn't make a big issue about the twilight here and the shadows and the bright backdrop being so tough for the hitters. That was very, I thought, serendipitous of us not to ever at any time mention that.
Well, I'm also glad that we didn't make a lot about the fact that the Dodgers hadn't hit a lot of home runs this year.
That's right. Can't hit, especially.
Yeah,
don't expect a lot of homers, that's for sure.
I'm glad we didn't do all that. But that tells you why baseball is such a great game. On any given day, anything can happen. Even Dodgers hit 4 or 5 home runs, 4 home runs in a game.
Alex Cora, and that is out number 1. Well, our telecast tonight is available on ESPN new HD service. Joe, you back there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you're clearing out the.
Yeah, I'm clearing out. I want you to see this.
Yeah, we got our own high-definition monitor in here, and it is a beauty. You get a much greater field of vision as to what's going on, and beautiful, sharp tones. The clarity is remarkable. It's all made possible with the help of Philips and Best Buy. For more information about how to get ESPN HD, contact your local cable operator or satellite provider. And I got it, Joe. If I wasn't here with you right now, I could be watching this on HD at my home on channel 73 on my direct TV.
And I think that's great, but we have the best seat in the house.
It really has remarkable clarity from where we're sitting.
Right, it does. Well, I mean, we can see everything we want to see from here.
If you're not here as we are, the next best way is in the HD.
Well, see, we can see all around Dodger Stadium, from left field to center field. We can see it all at once.
Yes, we can. 2 down, nobody on. Here is Orlando Palmeiro. 0-1 the count. Palmeiro has hit back to the pitcher and also grounded out to short. 8-5. The Cardinals are leading. Fastball misses from Alvarez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the Cardinals, we talked a couple of times about their pitching and how that's been a problem. Last year, Walt Jocketty went out and made a big trade to bring Chuck Finley in. Veteran left-hander.
Nice pitch.
A curveball back to Alvarez. He throws out Palmeiro, and Alvarez has calmed things down considerably. Sean Green, Paulo Duca, Jeremy Burnett's coming up for the Dodgers.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Nextel. Nextel, life's better when your cell phone has a walkie-talkie. And in part by Wendy's Crispy Chicken Nuggets. It's better here.
Beautiful evening here in L.A. as Sean Green leads it off, hitting a soaring pop fly into shallow right. There is Perez. And Green is now 0 for 3. Seems like Sean been swinging at some bad pitches against Woody Williams tonight.
Well, that was a good pitch by Williams. In fact, I mean, up and out of the strike zone inside, and Sean went after it and could not get the barrel out there.
I mean, you're Sean Green, and you get a first pitch fastball, you're geared to swing, right?
Well, you're looking for a pitch in a certain zone. You should be. There's Jack Clark. I'm sure that, you know, they're trying to find his home run stroke. Not necessarily his home run stroke, but his good stroke, and it'll turn into a home run stroke.
Paulo Duca, that one sinking inside and low. 1 ball, no strike. Loduca hit a single in the 3rd, just ahead of Jeremy Burnett's 2nd homer of the game. Loduca is 1 for 2. That fastball is a strike. 1-1 now. 8 home runs hit here tonight, and Joe, we've done some research that equals the Dodger Stadium record for home runs by the 2 teams combined in a single game. And I believe you were involved in the other one. See if you remember it. It was 19.
There's no way I can remember anybody hitting 8 home runs in this ballpark.
1979. Now that was your last year with the Reds, right?
Correct.
The Reds were here. The waning days of the Big Red Machine.
Man.
Not that you were slowing down.
Well,
Tony Perez was gone, though.
Yeah, Tony was gone. Johnny was still there. George Foster was there.
Yeah. Well,
so George might have hit 9 by himself, 8 by himself. He was that good at times.
Well, let me just try to refresh your memory a little bit.
Okay.
The Reds, let's see, May the 25th, 1979. The Reds hit 1 home run.
Oh, okay. George Foster hit it.
The Dodgers
hit 7.
7.
Dusty Baker.
They had some guys who could hit them. Rod Say.
Nice play.
Bo Hart, and he throws out Loduca. Wow.
That was a very nice play because he got the bad hop, the tough hop. He caught it and then made the throw in the next step. And watch, this is, you know, normally this is not that tough a play, but watch this hop right here. Right there. So he has to grab it, the in-between hop, and then get rid of it quickly. Watch that. See that? See, that's the in-between hop. Not high, not low, but in between. And that's a tough play to make, but he makes it. Nice play, Bo.
I've seen him make some outstanding plays, Joe, and I haven't seen him play that often.
Yeah. This is the first time I've seen him in person. That was a nice play.
Jeremy Burnitz. He homered in the second, and he homered again in the third. Change up from Woody Williams. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, Burnitz has had 16 games in his career where he's hit 2 homers, including tonight's game. Twice in his career, he's hit 3 homers in a game. Fastball. 1 and 2.
And you see Woody Williams is pitching now. Before, I think he was trying to throw strikes, make sure he didn't walk anyone. Now you see him mixing speed. His location is better. He's pitching like the Woody Williams that we saw in the All-Star game, that we saw make the All-Star team. He gave up a home run in the All-Star game also.
Oh, you had to bring that up.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's in the record books now.
I thought you weren't a journalist.
Well, I was going to say, you don't have to be a journalist to see that. You don't have to be a journalist to see it. It's in the record books.
So, I mean, you're just reporting it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, just reporting it.
Just reporting the facts.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That's what journalists do. That's and I enjoy it. I enjoy when you start journalizing.
Okay. Here's the third inning when we saw Jeremy Burnitz get so upset he bobbled the ball. Scott Rolen was able to score. And you see he's upset, but what does he do? He gets a chance to tie the ball game, and he does so. And then everybody's happy.
Except Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy was still a little bit upset. But, I mean, and that's the kind of fire you want. That's what he brings with him to this ball club. And I'm sure Jim Tracy is pleased with that. But, I mean, you sacrifice some defense when you put he and Ricky Henderson out there, and they're just going to have to live with it. They're looking for offense.
2-2. And he pounds that curve right down off his foot.
This is one thing I've always remembered about Jeremy Burnitz. He never gets cheated. Doesn't matter if it's 2 strikes or 1 strike. I mean, he is still trying to drive the ball.
Yeah. I mean, that's, you always remember from a Burnitz at bat.
Right.
I mean, that swing is a hard swing.
Hard swing.
2-2 to Burnitz. He was born in this area, but grew up in the Houston area. A roller right to Bo Hart. And Woody Williams retires the Dodgers in order, and he got the big hitters. So now we're going to the 6th inning. Woody Williams is coming up. 8-5 St. Louis. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Nextel. Dodger Stadium in Chavez Ravine, Los Angeles. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan, your Sunday night telecasters in our 14th season. We haven't had too many Sunday night games quite like this one. Not in a ballpark like this one, as Woody Williams, with a mighty cut, fouls one back. Woody, the pitcher, homered his last time up. He got 7 RBIs this year. He's had 43 at-bats, 12 hits, including 5 extra base hits. That's over the outside for a called strike 2 from Wilson Alvarez.
So just watching his approach, if you wouldn't have told the fans that he was a pitcher, they wouldn't know it. I mean, he has a good stance, he waits well, and he attacks the ball.
That pitch might even have been out of the strike zone, and he hooked it right over to the shortstop. 1 away. Joe Patini, the bench coach for Tony La Russa and the Cardinals, wearing a microphone tonight when Woody Williams homered back in the 4th. Let's listen into Patini.
Yeah! Attaboy, Woodrow!
Joe Patini played for the Giants for a while, little middle infielder.
There's Bo Hart. Grew up a Giants fan in Santa Cruz. I don't remember that many baseball players coming from Santa Cruz. Usually you get the great surfers come out of Santa Cruz. On one to Bo Hart, who's 1 for 3. And that curve from Alvarez bounced foul.
John, I'm still trying to figure out the 7 home runs by the Dodgers. They had the likes of Reggie Smith, Steve Garvey, Ron Say, Davey Lopes, Dusty Baker. I mean,
they had plenty of guys.
Yeah, plenty of guys. What combination
that was
added up to those 7?
That was the first team. I think it was in '77. They were the first team that had 4 30 home run guys the same year. Here's an update now with Pam Ward.
All right, John, rough day for Dontrell Willis. He picked up his first loss in his last 11 starts. Here in the third, Cubbies up 3-0. Eric Karros lines a double in the left field. That scores 2 runs. Willis would not get out of the third, really struggled after the rain delay. He gave up 6 earned runs, all in the third inning. Chicago up 9-1 in the 8th. It's Sammy time. He clubs his 484 feet. Cubs win 16-2. Second time this year they've scored 16 runs, John.
Man. Cubs, well, they might have wished they'd saved a few of those. They're playing Atlanta tomorrow. Torres throws out J.D. Drew, who broke his bat on that one. Alvarez is retired 7 in a row. Beltre coming up. Cardinals lead 8-5. Eight to 5 Cardinals. We go to the last of the 6th. The Dodgers coming up with Adrian Beltre, the 6th place hitter. Beltre has grounded out to third, and he is singled 1 for 2. Joe, we're getting more information on Marty Aronoff in the knowing that because of your journalistic instincts, he wants to get the full story. The last time there were 8 home. In fact, the only other time there were 8 homers hit in a game at Dodger Stadium. Beltre rips one into left field for a base hit. And that's his second hit against Woody Williams. And that's 9 hits for the Dodgers all told. And here comes David Ross. Anyway, the final score back in May of 1979. The Dodgers beat the Reds 17-6. Tom Seaver, a Hall of Famer, started for the Reds. He gave up home runs to Dusty Baker and Rick Sutcliffe. Seaver went 2 innings, gave up 7 runs and 10 hits.
Well, that'll be topic for conversation at the Hall this week. I'll ask him if he remembers that. And I'm sure he'll be glad that we're reminding the world of it.
Talk about bad luck for Seaver that we find all this out just before you go to the Hall of Fame to see it. 0-1 the count to Ross, who homered, and he had a long one to straightaway center in the second inning. He hit into a 4-side his last time. Anyway, Frank Pastore came in to the game in relief of Seaver. And Pastore gave up home runs. Seaver gave up the 2 homers to Baker and Sutcliffe. And there's Lance Painter getting ready in the Cardinal bullpen, a left-hander. Pastore allowed home runs to Davey Lopes, Steve Garvey, Darrell Thomas, Gary Thomason, and Joe Ferguson.
Man,
7 homers for the Dodgers in that game.
I probably was not still in the game by the time the last couple were hit.
Oh, what, you sprained your ankle at some point during that?
They were probably way ahead, and Sparky, being, you know, a good friend of mine, probably let me go sit in the clubhouse.
Well, wait, now Sparky Sparky had
79,
been fired.
79, yeah.
Was that McNamara?
John McNamara, yeah. Well, I was still out there then.
He probably said, you know, Joe,
I was still out there.
I'd like to get a look at one of our young guys.
No, I was still out there.
Ricky Henderson made his major league debut that year. Jim Tracy, the current Dodger manager, played for Midland in the Texas League. Mitchell Page was Henderson's teammate in Oakland. Joe Morgan, all-star team as usual.
Well, you know what's funny? I played on the final team that I played with in my career, the Oakland A's in 1984. No, 80. What is that? 80,
yeah, 84.
Ricky Henderson was a teammate of mine that year, and Mitchell Page for a little while.
By the way, one last bit of research on that 8 home run game in 1979. You didn't play at all.
Oh, good. Well, that's why all that happened. That's why all that happened, because, see, if Seaver would have gotten in trouble, I could have gone in and we would have talked a little bit.
So, I mean, that's the reason there were only 8 home runs hit in that game. You probably would have hit a couple. Kennedy played second base for the Reds that day.
Good.
And he went 2 for 5.
Good. He was a good hitter.
Rick Sutcliffe. And we're talking about the only other game in Dodger Stadium history where there were 8 home runs hit. Rick Sutcliffe pitched 8 innings and allowed 6 runs and 14 hits.
In 8 innings?
And he got the win. A cool 14 hitter for Sut.
Well, you can ask him about that next Sunday, and I'll ask Seaver.
Backhanded by Pujols. The low throw at second, dug out by Renteria. Back to first, too late. Cora, or rather Easturis, just too fast.
Well, speaking of the 8 home runs, let's take a look at the 8 home runs. You'll find one thing in common. All of them were in the strike zone. Perez, Henderson in the middle of the plate almost.
Your attention, please.
Burnett.
For the Dodgers.
Look at all these balls getting a lot of the plate.
Number 14. Larry
In the middle again. And Woody Williams even hits one in the middle, and Pujols. I mean, they're just, most of the pitches you can see were pretty good pitches to hit.
Well, you know, it kind of reminds me. I broadcast a game in Toronto. Baltimore played at Toronto in 1987. And the Blue Jays set the all-time record. They hit 10 home runs themselves in the game at the old exhibition stadium. Larry Barnes is the pinch hitter, and he shot one right into the Cardinal dugout. Look out in there. Man, that ball got there in a hurry. Larry Barnes hitting 190, 4 hits and 21 at-bats in the big leagues. He spent most of the year in Las Vegas, a AAA ball. Anyway, I did this game where the Blue Jays set the all-time record, which still exists, with 10 home runs. Terry Kennedy was the Baltimore catcher that day. He says, how come, you know, nobody ever went down? They were hitting all those home runs. You think maybe somebody get a little chin music or whatever. He says, well, it wasn't like they were reaching out over the plate and hitting pitches they shouldn't have hit. They should have hit home runs on all 10 of them. And that's pretty much what we just saw in this game tonight.
Yeah, good point. And that's why you do not knock people down. If they hit pitches.
I mean, it's not like anybody's been taking liberties.
Right.
Easturis was running on that pitch, but Barnes fouls it back into the crowd. Out of play. And Easturis will have to go back to first. Tony La Russa on the phone to the bullpen. Or maybe to Walt Jocketty saying, did we make a trade for another pitcher yet? Lance Painter up in the bullpen. But they got their ace going tonight, Woody Williams, and he got roughed up for 4 homers in the first 3 innings. But the middle 3 innings, he's pitching the way you would expect. Pitching Woodrow-like, as Joe Patini called him. Off the fists. Barnes fouling that one back. And we're seeing that more and more. A lot of when they're getting a fastball, they're swinging at, they're jammed by it.
Yeah. Well, that's what Woody Williams does. He has great control. He uses the corners, but early in the ballgame, I think what happened is he started off, he was ahead 4-0. And you have a different mindset when you take the mound with a 4-0 lead. You're not going to give up any walks. You're going to make them hit. But they were hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
Curveball in the dirt, an appeal made to Justin Clem, the third base umpire, but he rules in favor of Larry Barnes. No swing. 2-2. Woody Williams wants a different baseball than the one initially sent to him. But at this point, I mean, he's closing in on 100 pitches for the game. So this is probably going to be his final inning. I mean, because that's a lot of pitches when you're only in the 6th inning.
And also, it's pretty warm out there, John.
I noticed. Another curve in the dirt. Bounced. It bounced away from Matheny, but Easturis held on at first.
Great job by Matheny. I mean, he was on that ball very quickly. He moved quickly to get to it. Watch, this ball bounces. This is why he's won Gold Gloves. The ball hits him in the chest. Immediately, he's on it.
By the way, I have one other note in that 8 home run game here in 1979 that the Reds lost. Your Reds lost 17-6.
Well, I wasn't playing.
The next day you played.
Oh.
Reds won 3-1.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
You went 1 for 4. Swing and a miss. Barnes strikes out, and the inning is over. We're heading to the 7th. Albert Pujols will be coming up. Then Scott Rolen and Edgar Renteria. The Cardinals lead 8-5. Back at Dodger Stadium. A wild one going here in the 7th inning. 8-5. The Cardinals out front of the Dodgers. The Dodgers have gone to the bullpen, and Paul Shuey delivers a called strike to Albert Pujols. Pujols has walked, grounded out, and homered. That's too low. Shuey throws hard. He also got a lot of other stuff.
Got a good sinker, a good splitter.
He's tough. 40 innings, only 25 hits allowed. There's that splitter. 2-1. Scott Rolen, Edgar Renteria to follow. I mean, you cannot count on scoring a bunch of runs late in the game against this Dodger bullpen.
That's a fact, but I mean, they may not have to score anymore. But I'm just looking at this Cardinal team. I mean, even though you have Jim Edmonds out, I mean, Fernando Vina's been gone most of the year. I mean, this is a real good offensive ball club. And what I like about them, you know, if you look at any of the hitters, you go down the lineup: Bohart, J.D. Drew, Pujols, Rolen, Renteria, Perez, Matheny, Palmeiro. None of them are pull hitters. By that I mean they keep the ball in the middle of the diamond. They use the entire field, this entire, you know, and I think, again, that's kind of a tip of the hat to Mitchell Page, the hitting instructor, because everything, all these guys stay pretty much in the middle of the field, and that's the big part of the field.
Here's Mitchell Page. His nickname when he was with Oakland, the Rage. Mitchell Page.
The Rage. Okay.
Ricky Henderson came up in 1979. Ricky was the hometown kid. That's ball 4. Pujols coaxes the walk from Shuey to start the 7th inning.
Third baseman, Scott Rolen.
Anyway, Ricky Henderson's first run scored. And that's significant. I mean, he scored more runs than anybody in the history of the game. Right. The first one he scored on a base hit by Mitchell Page. Now Page, the hitting instructor for the Cardinals.
Ricky's still playing.
Ricky's out there still playing.
And Mitchell's been a hitting instructor for a few years.
During batting practice, Ricky was out there with Burnitz and Dave Roberts. They were hitting in a group. And I asked Ricky, I said, what's your most memorable Dodger Stadium game? And he said, well, probably the first All-Star game I played in, which was Dodger Stadium, 1980. And Burnitz and Roberts just fell over. I said, you played at an All-Star game in 1980? 0-2 the count to Rolen. Ricky, I always remember Ricky wearing number 24.
Right, with the A's.
But this is his 4th different jersey number, 9th different team, and the 15th different manager for which he's played, as Rolen knocks a base hit to center field. Rolen, who hit the first of the 8 home runs we've seen here tonight, back in the first inning. He'd also walked twice. Now he's gotten himself a single. Big night for Scott Rolen.
And all those things we showed you, Ricky Henderson, jersey number changes, different teams, different managers. That's very unusual for a guy that's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, too. I mean, that many teams, that many different situations. But he is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
2 men on, nobody out. And Renteria takes a called strike. By the way, you might be wondering, well, Ricky wore number 24 quite often in his career. How come not here? Well, the number 24 used to be worn by the longtime Dodger manager, Walter Alston.
Right, Walter Alston.
And that number has been retired. They have that up in the retired number area up in the, above the outfield pavilions. Alston's up there along with the likes of Roy Campanella and Sandy Koufax, Jackie Robinson, Don Drysdale. There's Alston, and then of course Koufax, number 32, Campanella, number 39, Jackie Robinson, who's number 42, been retired all through baseball. Don Drysdale, number 53. You have to be real good, though. The Dodgers don't just retire anybody's number.
No, Pee Wee Reese,
Hall of Famer. Shuey gets one at second. He's to his back to first, not in time. Only the excellent speed of Renteria kept that from being a sensational double play. Pujols over to third, Rolen out at second.
And again, you see the quick feet of his Torres. You see the quick hands. I mean, he has it all for a shortstop. And watch, and a good job by Shuey. He gives him a good throw. Look at that, quick feet, quick hands, and almost retires Renteria for the double play.
Well, these tourists put on a show out there.
Well, he has quick feet. I mean, that's the first thing you look for in a shortstop or a middle infielder.
Here is Eduardo Perez. He's hit a 2-run homer, walked, and popped up to second. 8-5. The Cardinals lead. We're in the 7th inning. 2 men on, 1 man out. The Dodgers looking for the double play. And they got to keep an eye on Renteria at first. Renteria has already led a double steal tonight. And he's the Cardinals base stealing leader. He's stolen 24 times this year. In fact, he is tied with the Dodgers, Dave Roberts, for second in the National League for base stealing. And I would think stealing a base here could be advantageous to stay out of that double play. 0-1 to Perez. In the dirt, dug out by Ross. To mention, Perez has hit real well. As Tony La Russa flashes a sign over to Jose Oquendo, the third base coach. Perez hit real well against lefties. 356 coming into this game, but only 230 against right-handed pitching. Dodgers looking to get a double play. They can ill afford to fall any further behind. Already down by 3 in the 7th inning. Pujols, who led off the inning with a walk, is at third. Renteria at first. Loduca on the bag with him, and he's chased back to the bag on that throw by Shuey. A little earlier we saw Woody Williams sitting in the Cardinal dugout. I had speculated maybe we had seen the last of them in the 6th, but maybe not.
Well, they don't have anyone throwing now, so.
There goes Renteria, and it's a little bouncer foul.
That looked like more of a hit and run, because Albert Pujols started from third base as well. I don't think I've ever seen that, where the runner at third breaks. The runner from first was taking off. I don't think I've ever seen a guy at third get that far down the line and take off as well either, with the guy breaking with 1 out.
1-2 to Perez. Matheny on deck. Well, if Renteria was running on that last pitch, how about this one?
I doubt it. I think Tony was trying to surprise him and stay out of the double play on that particular play.
Time taken now by Perez.
But Renteria is probably on his own, so he may steal the base anytime he gets ready. But it appeared to me that the other one was more of a hit and run, because everybody was moving.
Nobody moving in this one. He's Tourist, gets 1 at second. The relay to first. Double play.
He's good.
His Tourist got rid of it just like that, and then Cora did the rest with the pivot, and the inning is over. The Cardinals do not score. And Cesar Izturis continues to put on quite a show, and a real nice turn at second by Cora. Top of the order coming up for L.A.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Nextel. Nextel, life's better when your cell phone has a walkie-talkie. And in part by TGI Fridays. TGI Fridays introduces 3 big flavors. Choose from dishes like our new garlic chicken or our sizzling chicken and cheese.
Now the Dodgers in the last of the 7th inning, and Ricky Henderson will try and get them started. Woody Williams still out there. Henderson hits a high, lazy fly out into left center. Palmeiro, the wind seemed to carry that one a little bit over toward center. Henderson is quickly retired for 1 away.
Well, we've watched this tourist play tonight. I mean, he's made some magnificent plays. Watch how quickly he gets this ball over the Cora. Ball's in the hole. Look at that. Boom. Perfect throw. Cora turns it over, and they get the double play and save the run. Now, here's the turn. Now, watch Renteria. He slides, but then he comes up, and he hits him in his knee. And, you know, you can injure a guy like that. You can get yourself injured as well, popping up in that situation.
To slide in and stay down.
Slide in and stay down. I mean, you know, he's already thrown the ball away. The ball's already gone.
So, I mean, slide into him, make him jump up or get out of the way.
That's the key, and make him get out of the way. But after he slid, he came up, and then he actually hit him in the knee. And his knee could have hit Renteria in the face or something. I mean, he get injured like that. That's how Frank Robinson got injured. Remember, years and years ago, when after his Triple Crown season, I think.
1967.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank was it a concussion?
And he had trouble seeing. I just remember that.
He had some double vision.
Yeah.
And then Baltimore ended up having a horrible year. Was that? I keep thinking Al Weiss every time I think of.
I think of
Frank
Al
Robinson.
Weiss too. I think it was Al Weiss.
I think Al was with the White Sox at that time. Weiss, of course, did more damage to the Orioles later in the '69 World Series. Our next poll question: of these trade acquisitions, who will have the greatest impact? And
well, I don't know if that was a fair question, because you got 2 against 1 in every place. They get Alomar and they get Everett. I mean, against, you know, yeah, I would think that they would have more impact. Those 2 guys.
Yeah.
Well, they're both pretty good players.
I mean, those were both from trade.
Right.
How about if you had Burnitz and Ricky Henderson?
Right. Exactly.
I mean, they were acquisitions.
Well,
one was a trade.
Yeah, 2-1 doesn't seem like a fair trade. I see why they won.
Well, the Dodgers are gone just like that. And Shawn Green is 0 for 4 tonight against Woody Williams. On to the 8th inning. 8-5 St. Louis.
Yes, sir.
This is ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Nextel. Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, that's our venue. The Dodgers and the Cardinals in a wild one. 8-5 Cardinals. 8 home runs have been hit, equaling the all-time Dodger Stadium record for home runs by 2 teams in the same game. Guillermo Mota, the new Dodger pitcher, here in the 8th. He's delivered ball 1 to Mike Matheny, the 7th place hitter for the Cardinals. Matheny is 0 for 3. Punches that one into right. On the move is Green, but that's going to fall well in front of him for a base hit. The first hit of the game for Matheny. Cardinals' 8th hit all told, half of which have been home runs. Woody Williams had thrown 100 pitches through the first 6 innings, and then he faced the top of the order for the Dodgers in the 7th, needing a quick inning, and he got an 8-pitch inning as Williams comes out on deck. Tony La Russa with Dave Duncan, his pitching coach. And there's no activity currently in the Dodger bullpen, although Lance Pater has been up. In the Cardinal bullpen, I beg your pardon. That would be sort of a news story. Pater had been up in the Dodger bullpen. That's a called strike to Palmeiro, who is 0 for 3. Well, the Arizona Diamondbacks lost today in San Diego. Dodgers with a chance to gain ground in Arizona. The Phillies leading the wild card race in the National League, won at home over the Montreal Expos, back of Brett Myers, an impressive young pitcher. That's a ball. What about Pat Burrell? I guess he's been hitting a little bit better in these first few days since the All-Star break, but he was hitting what, 192 or something at the break, which is flabbergasting.
Yeah, it is, because he was such a good hitter, you know, in his college career, and even last year. I mean, he put up some big numbers.
There goes Matheny. The ball is rolled down the third base side, foul. Beltre fielded it, made the throw to first, but it was a foul ball. This is the way the wild card race shapes up right now in the National League. The Phillies gained a game on the D-backs today. The Dodgers at the moment are 4 out. And that looks a lot better than the 9 games that they're out in their own division behind the Giants.
Correct. You know, you have to give the Expos credit for hanging in there without Vladimir Guerrero all this time. And they're still in the race, technically. The wild card race, that is. And I understand he's maybe coming back soon.
Bad Vlad. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. Dave Duncan on the phone to the Cardinal bullpen. Twilight time in Southern California. We're in Chavez Ravine. Dodger Stadium in its 42nd year as the home of the Dodgers. And only the 2nd game in all those years as the runner goes. The ball is lined off the glove of Beltre. Into left field. Henderson into field it. Matheny will stop at second base. Palmeiro gets the hit and run base hit.
That ball seemed to get on Beltre quickly. I mean, I wasn't sure that he saw it right away. Well, see, he didn't have time to get up. He just reached up with with his hand, but he didn't have time to get off the ground.
Well, now you get Woody Williams up, who's an excellent hitting pitcher. He has hit a home run tonight, one of the 8 home runs that have been hit, equaling the record for Dodger Stadium.
I think he's bunting, though. I think this is a situation the Cardinals need to. They feel like they need to get some more runs to put this out of reach.
And he takes ball 1. The Dodgers get their bullpen busy again. Tony La Russa offering some signals over to Jose Oquendo, the third base coach, who relays them to the principals. In the bullpen for the Cardinals, Eldred, the right-hander, Painter, the left-hander, warming up. And that's called a strike as Williams pulled the bat back. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Dodger bullpen also with activity. The left-hander, Steve Collier, is warming up for L.A. Following a strike to Woody Williams. Dodgers haven't put any special plays here out of the ordinary so far. Williams showed bunt, then brought the bat back. Now he's showing bunt again. Order to third, and he pulls him off the bag, and everybody's safe.
Great play by Beltre to keep that ball from going down the left field line. He had a shot at him. I mean, he had a little more time probably than he realized. But a real nice play by Beltre.
Second baseman, Bo Hart.
See, Beltre's there. He's got time. You see the throw well wide of the bag at third. Just a great play there by Beltre. I mean, you can see he's clearly out if the throw is on target. But again, he had a little more time, I think, than he realized he had.
Great play by Beltre, for sure. So now the bases are loaded. The infield is in. Leadoff man Hart to first. Loduca goes home 1. Back to first. 2 double play. Ross double clutched it just to make sure that he didn't hit the runner Bo Hart with that throw, and still got it.
Well, he did a good job of jumping into the baseline, on the inside of the baseline, so that he had a clear shot to throw to first base. This is one of the reasons you like a left-handed first baseman. Watch. He comes to the plate. Now he goes back. Now watch him come over inside. He gets inside. Now see, he throws it, and you have a right-handed first baseman. He can't give you that target out here, out away from first base, where it makes it a much easier play.
Now J.D. Drew far to his left. Cora, he's got it, and the inning is over. For the second consecutive inning, the Dodgers turn a big double play to stay out of trouble. Now the offense has got to get going. The Cardinals lead 8-5.
Now batting for the Dodgers.
Woody Williams back to work, and you wouldn't have given much for the possibility that he'd still be in there as late as the 8th inning, the way things started for him tonight. Change behind him now. Jim Edmonds moves in to play center field, and J.D. Drew moves from center field over to right field in place of Eduardo Perez. Here is Paul Loduca to try and get the Dodgers going, but after touching up Williams for 4 homers in the first 3 innings, the Dodgers have been shut out by Woody the last 4 innings on only 2 hits. Loduca is 1 for 3 in the game. Jeremy Burnitz will follow. That's a foul out of play. By the way, 4 homers allowed tonight by Williams. He had given up only 9 all year in 135 innings before tonight. He had not allowed more than 1 homer in any game in 27 consecutive starts. The last time he gave up as many as 4 homers, or gave up more than 4 homers, 2 years ago, July 2001, at the new ballpark in Houston. The Astros hit 5 home runs against him in 5 innings. Tonight he gave up 4 homers in the first 3 innings, 5 runs total on 7 hits, but he has shut them out ever since. And that's a foul out of play. But you know, when a guy is your ace pitcher, I think these having a lead late in a ball game kind of defines an ace.
Yeah, true. So, well, as I said, I remember, I talked to Tom Seaver, whom I'll discuss the other with later. But I talked to Tom Seaver about this when we were teammates.
0-2. Off the glove of Rolen, and that's going to be a base hit. Loduca, quite a battle there with Williams, and he gets the hit. Ricky Henderson and Jeremy Burnett, the Dodgers' new acquisitions, and they've had some impact in this game. Henderson led off the game with a home run. Then Burnett went deep in his first at bat, and again in his second. So Burnett has hit 2 homers with 3 RBIs in this game, and here comes Tony La Russa with Williams up around 113, 114 pitches. Lance Painter, a left-hander, is going to be summoned from the Cardinal bullpen. So Williams is out of there. The Cardinals lead 8-5. Cardinals 8, Dodgers 5. Last of the 8th inning at Dodger Stadium, and Lance Painter comes on, left-handed specialist, and his job is to get Jeremy Burnett's out, something that he has accomplished 7 other times. Burnett is 0 for 7 lifetime against Painter. He inherits a runner at first base. That is Paul Loduca. Adrian Beltre on deck, a right-handed hitter, so this may be the only man that Painter faces in this game. Of course, we're talking, Joe, about how Painter's done well against Burnett's. Woody Williams had done well against Burnett's until tonight. Burnett's was 2 for 23 lifetime against Williams, and had never hit a home run in all those 23 at bats, and he got him twice tonight. 2-0. Burnett's with 20 homers for the year now,
and he's got the hitter's count, 2 balls, no strikes. Be very selected. Look for something middle of the plate in.
Burnett's got 20 homers for the year, and this is only his 69th game.
Right. Well, he had such a great start when he came back off the disabled list with the Mets. I mean, he was really swinging the bat well.
He's averaging about 1 homer every 12 and a half at bats. That's a good pace. That's a strike. I'm doing some statistics now.
Okay.
Jim Tracy. Do the Dodgers have a late rally in them? That hits the umpire in foul ground.
And that hurts.
Terry Kraft got drilled with that one, and in the tradition of a player who got hit by a pitch, he's not even going to rub it.
You go and rub it if you want to. I mean, that one got him good. I mean, that was a hard line drive, and it was hooking. He's outside the foul, foul line, as you can see. And that got him right on bone, right below the left knee.
Terry, you are a tough man. I didn't even feel it. Just going to chew my bubble gum, blow a bubble. If I'm a first base umpire, I'm wearing shin guards under those slacks. 3-2. And he struck him out.
Well, see, that's what is tough about a relief pitcher if you're the hitter. He comes in, he throws you all fastballs. Every pitch was a fastball. And he goes, you haven't seen anything else. He goes 3-2. What does he do? Throw you a little changeup. And Burnett's way out in front.
Dave Duncan heading out to the mound. You've got the right-handed batting Beltre coming up, and Cal Eldred will be summoned from the Cardinal bullpen. 8-5. The Cardinals lead the Dodgers in the 8th, and we'll be right back. Veteran right-hander Cal Eldred, much in the same vein as the Dodger reliever we saw tonight, Wilson Alvarez, has resurrected his career.
Well, he was a starter at one time. You're right. I mean, a pretty good pitcher before he had an arm problem.
So Eldred, who at one point this year with Isringhausen on the shelf was the closer for the Cardinals. In fact, he leads the club in saves even now with 8. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. MLB.com has the widest selection of items for the team you love. Shop MLB.com, the official site of all the great things that you like to wear from your favorite ball clubs. MLB.com. Check it out. There's strike one to Adrian Beltre, who is 2 for 3 in the game. Duca, the runner at first, 1 out. On the inside corner, strike 2 call. Well, Beltre can get aboard. You got the young catcher Dave Ross up next. Ross, who has hit a home run tonight and has hit 6 home runs this year in only 77 at bats. Beltre just did get a piece of that one.
Nice pitch by Eldred. Slider down and away. And Beltre went after it. And he was lucky to make contact.
Down the right field line, twisting back into the corner and out of play, foul. 0-2. Cal Eldred, a 35-year-old right-hander. And one time he was the top pitcher in the Milwaukee Brewers rotation. That 10 years ago, he was a 16-game winner for the Brewers.
He was Sporting News Rookie of the Year in 1992.
He was 11-2 that year. Wow. Beltre's fighting off some tough pitches here.
Well, Eldred is making some good pitches.
Eldred has had a lot of injury problems. He missed all of last year. He had elbow problems. But now back in the big leagues. 0-2 the count. Beltre. I mean, Beltre had not seen a strike for a while, but he keeps hitting them.
Well, that's a good job. I mean, that ball is diving away, and he's just trying to spoil it, and he did.
Beltre 2 for 3 in the game. Ross on deck. If Beltre can get aboard, Ross would be the possible tying run. 8-5 Cardinals. That one driven deep to left field. At the wall, gone! It's a one-run game. The 9th home run of the night. The most homers ever seen in a single game in the history of Dodger Stadium. And that's the 5th one hit by the Dodgers. Quite an at-bat by Beltre.
And a real big league at-bat. I mean, he fought off some tough pitches till he got a breaking ball. It looked like it pretty much in the middle of the plate. And he hits it over the wall. That is what you call good 2-strike hitting. Just fight him off until you get something you can handle. And the more pitches you see, the better you groove in on a hit pitcher.
The 8th home run of the year for Beltre. So it is 8-7. Here is Ross, who has a home run tonight already. In the dirt, ball 1. So Eldred just could not put Beltre away. 9 home runs tonight. So, Joe, we don't ever have to think about that game you played in again.
No.
1979.
I was trying to think. I don't think I've ever been at a ball game or played in a game where there were 9 home runs hit. Until today.
Of course, you didn't remember that 8 home run game in '79.
Well, I wasn't playing, so I wasn't involved in that one.
You were probably hurt that night.
Yeah, that was Junior Kennedy's game.
Isringhausen, the right-hander. Klein, the left-hander. Getting ready in the Cardinal bullpen. 1 out, nobody on. Ross, 1 for 3. Good fastball on the outside. 1-2 the count. Ross hit a long home run to straightaway center in the second inning. Since then, he's hit into a forced play and struck out. Cesar Izturis is on deck. So Ross down on strikes. He just could not catch up to that fastball.
Well, he fought off a couple of good pitches. Now here, breaking ball, I mean, right there on the edge. He went out and got it and brought it back. I mean, it wasn't a bad pitch from Eldred. He said, man, I threw it down and away, and he hit it out. Because it was not a bad pitch.
That's the kind of night it's been here at Dodger Stadium. The ball is flying.
For the Dodgers.
Now a pinch hitter.
Izturis,
who was the least likely of the Dodgers to hit a home run, goes back to the dugout, and Albert Cabrera will come up. Cabrera hitting .266. He's got 6 home runs. Former Cleveland Indian. He's been a handy player for Jim Tracy. This guy can play the infield. He can play the outfield. He hits. He runs well. A little flare back to first. Pujols in foul ground makes the basket catch one-handed, and the inning is over. So the Cardinals, who've put 8 on the board already, need more. Pujols, Rolen, and Renteria, the big hitters, coming up 8-7 St. Louis. Adrian Beltre hitting a 2-run homer in the last of the 8th inning to make this a 1-run game. Cardinals with 4 homers and 8 runs, but just a 1-run lead over the Dodgers, who've hit 5 home runs, the most home runs ever hit in a single game at Dodger Stadium. New pitcher, number 46, that's Paul Quantrill, the sinker baller. Albert Cabrera, as we see Quantrill's numbers, he's one of the few relievers you'll see his numbers show up among starting pitchers who throw a lot more innings for double plays induced. And Albert Cabrera stays in to play shortstop after pinch hitting for Izturis. Albert Pujols, the hitter. He's had 2 walks and a 2-run homer, hitting .371 for the year. And look at the movement on that pitch. He's swinging a foul tip.
Well, you talked about him having a good sinker. He said ball really tails in.
Over the outside. Strike 2. Pujols, by the way, now just 1 RBI back of Preston Wilson. Or no, he's 3 behind. Wilson had 2 today in San Francisco. Look out, that got it. Up around his left wrist. Barry Weinberg, the trainer for the Cardinals, out to see if Albert needs some help.
Well, one of the problems when you're a guy like Quantrill, your ball runs in hard on the right-hander. We saw it on the first pitch when he swung and missed. The ball really tails in on a right-handed hitter. And they're trying to freeze it. That's watch how see the ball starts to tail in right there. Look at it, really runs in, tails in hard, and it looks like he got him right below the wrist. And the tough thing about that is the pitch before was a fastball away, and unconsciously you're trying to protect against that ball away, and then it just runs in on you.
I mean, does that make you nervous when you see a guy get hit in that area?
Yeah, because your hands.
Rolen swings and misses with the hit and run going, and Pujols steals second
with a late slide. Well, it was a hit and run because Scott Rolen swung at the ball down and out of the strike zone. See, he looks. Now watch, he slid late. And he pins, I guess he pins this core his foot to the bag.
I mean, actually, he's not on the bag. He's on the foot.
Right.
right?
Well, I think part of his foot may have been on it, but I guess we can use the basketball rule. If your hand's on the ball and they hit your hand, you're on the bag.
I mean,
You're on the ball.
If you're on the guy's foot whose foot is on the bag, are you on the bag?
Yeah, good question. Let's see. All right, now watch. As Torres puts his foot in there.
Cora,
I'm sorry. Yeah, he's on the bag. See, part of his toes on the bag.
that's a big foot.
Yeah.
Cora, I think, had some anxious moments. Wonder if he was ever going to get his foot back. All of it, anyway. 0-2 to Rolen. He fouls it back to the screen. Don't forget now, right after the ball game, stay tuned for Sports Center. Kevin Frazier and Stuart Scott. There are new twists in the case that everybody's talking about, especially here in L.A. Big Ben strikes and the streak. All among the stories that will be covered on Sports Center right after the game. There must be a little feature in there about the 9 home runs hit at Dodger Stadium in one game, the most ever hit in the history of the ballpark. The most home runs, by the way, ever hit in a Dodger home game here in L.A. that equals that record too. 9 when they played the L.A. Coliseum. Remember the Coliseum with 250 feet to the left field foul pole, the 40-foot screen. There were 9 home runs hit in a ball game there. 1961. The Phillies beat the Dodgers 19-10. John Bazart was the pitcher for the Phillies, and Sandy Koufax for the Dodgers. September of 61.
So somebody did get some hits off Koufax at one time, right? Very rarely.
Phillies hit 5 homers in that game. The Dodgers hit 4. Tonight, the Cardinals have hit 4. The Dodgers have hit 5. 2 by Burnett, Henderson, Ross, and Beltre for the Dodgers. Rolen, Perez, Pujols, and the pitcher Woody Williams with homers for the Cardinals. Ricky Henderson will be coming up second in the last of this inning for the Dodgers. Cora due third, and Sean Green due up fourth.
You mentioned the Coliseum when they first got here, and Wally Moon became a star there. With the moon shots, left-handed hitter, hit it over the short left field screen and dodged in the Coliseum.
He sort of like specialized.
Yeah, that was his job.
Moonshots.
Yeah.
So this Bob Prince come in with Pittsburgh, and the Pirates would hit one off that screen or over the screen, and Prince would say that the Buccos are playing a little screeno. 3-2 to Rolen. Jason Isringhausen, the Cardinal closer, ready for the last of the 9th inning. Dodgers will have the pitcher's spot, then Henderson and Cora due up. Rolen continues this great battle. Loduca not quite.
Rolen had made a conscious effort to hit the ball to the right side, trying to move Pujols over to third with less than 2 outs. But now with 2 strikes, he's just waiting long enough to get a good pitch to hit.
Mitchell Page, hitting instructor for the Cardinals. I'm a bottom line man, Joe. I'm saying he's doing a great job as the hitting instructor.
Exactly.
They lead the league in runs.
I just like their approach.
I don't care what their approach is, just as long as they hit a lot of home runs.
Right?
Yeah. I'm a results guy.
Shortstop, Eduardo Perez.
I know you're a tools guy. I'm an on-base percentage guy.
I hear you.
So Rolen, that was quite a battle there between Rolen and Quantrill. And Rolen, talking about earning a walk. All right, now here's Renteria. Now he's a tough clutch hitter. He's a good RBI man. Would they bunt him here?
I don't think so. I mean, he has 62 RBIs on the season. You have him set up right now.
To center field. And Burnett. Pujols tags up, heads for third, and he makes it.
I mean, this is what I like about the Cardinals. That not only do they hit, they run the bases well, they steal bases. I mean, they have a complete offense. And we saw Scott Rolen score today by hustling. When he was stealing a base, they made an error. And you see Pujols, this is not an easy play to make. He just decides, I'm going to make it, and takes off.
Well, now Jim Edmonds is coming up for the first time in the game. There have been 9 home runs hit, and Jim Edmonds, who's hit 29 home runs this year, he started the day 2nd in the National League for home runs. He hadn't even been involved yet. Jim Colborn out to the mound to talk to Quantrill. You've got Rolen at first. Now, Rolen is a threat to steal a base. He's stolen 8 times this year. Well, they got a lot of things to have to worry about here other than just Jim Edmonds.
Correct.
How about Albert Pujols that gets hit by that pitch and then ends up stealing a bag? Now, it was a hit and run, as you pointed out.
Yeah, but the next pitch, he was off and running. You're right.
But he wasn't running exactly like a hit and run.
No, and that's the way you should run on a hit and run, even though you know it's a hit and run. If you can get a good jump, you should try to steal the base.
So here's Edmonds. 29 homers, 69 batted in. The infield double play depth. And that is a Quantrill specialty, getting that double play ground ball.
But if anybody can get the ball in the air, Jim Edmonds can. I mean, he has that uppercut in his swing.
Barry Bonds is the only National League hitter who has hit more home runs than has Edmonds this year. A ball and a strike. Well, the Cardinals had 2 men on, nobody out of the 7th. Did not score. A double play eventually ended that inning. They had the bases loaded, nobody out of the 8th inning, and a double play destroyed that budding rally. Edmonds got that one airborne, but fouled off to the left and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jim Edmonds, and right shoulder's been giving him some trouble. There is Pujols. He's the runner at 3rd, and Rolen the runner at 1st. Loduca on the bag with him. The middle infielders, Cabrera at short, Cora at 2nd, pulled in a little bit, double play depth.
And what you see is Ross going out telling them what they're going to do if Rolen takes off from first base. If he's letting them know if he's going to throw through to 2nd, whether he's going to throw back to the pitcher or throw to 3rd. Everyone now knows what's going to happen if he does take off.
So I mean, there are a lot of different options,
yeah,
as to what to do.
Yeah, their options are you let him steal the base, or you try to throw through. You throw back to the pitcher and hope that you can catch the guy off 3rd, or you throw to 3rd trying to catch Pujols off 3rd.
A ball and 2 strikes to Edmonds. 2-2. I mean, Quantrill, I mean, he wants to get the out here, but he doesn't just want the out. He wants a double play grounder.
But he also realizes that he can't just throw Edmonds a sinker, because Edmonds can get his sinker in the air. I mean, like I say, he's probably one of the few guys in the league that can.
Oh. Well, that had him bailing out, but that pitch didn't miss the inside corner by all that much. At least that's the way it looked from here.
Now what you do now, but by going 3 and 2, you take the double play away.
Oh, way off the inside.
Yeah, you take the double play away, because automatically now Rolen's going to take off at first base. And now they bring the infield in, which I think is smart. You have to be able to come to the plate.
3 and 2. There goes Rolen. Strike 3.
But you can see what the way they were set up, they were not going to cover 2nd base on the steal.
Catcher, Mike Matheny.
High fastball, not a sinker. It's supposed to be a sinker, but look at this. High fastball gets him up and out of the strike zone. And you can see that Edmonds kind of grabbed his shoulder, wants to grab it anyway. He's had problems with his shoulder, and it is his right shoulder.
Well, that was a great shot of the pain that swing cost him. Now Mike Matheny, 1 ball to no strikes. But that was it. You pointed out some interesting things here, Joe. I mean, Jim Tracy immediately surmising the guy's going to run, no chance at a double play. Let's bring him in.
Bring him in. I think that was a smart play.
Base hit. Matheny gets the 2-out hit. Pujols scores. Here's Rolen. He scores. The throw down to 2nd, and Matheny is out. But it matters little. He got the big hit. The Cardinals get the extra distance between themselves and the Dodgers. It is 10-7 St. Louis. Last chance for the Dodgers. There's Jason Isringhausen, the Cardinals' tough closer. Big right-hander, throws hard, got a great curveball. He just got great stuff.
And as you mentioned earlier, he's been on the disabled list, so he doesn't have a lot of saves, but he is their closer, and if he can stay healthy, it's going to really add something to this bullpen and to the Cardinals pitching staff.
Big hit by Mike Matheny with 2 down to give the Cardinals that extra cushion.
And he was going to right field all the way. You can see that his stroke is to right field, past the diving Paul LaDuca. Sean Green's throw a little bit offline. He wasn't going to get Rolen anyway, but they do get Matheny down at second base.
Your attention, please.
But he got the 2 runs in, and that was the most important thing for the Cardinals.
Number 36, Darrell Ward.
Darrell Ward will lead off for the Dodgers as a pinch hitter. And here it is, Joe, July the 20th. Paige Pasquarelli's 16th birthday. And Darrell Ward still only has 1 extra base hit this year. He's had 108 at bats. I mean, the extra base hits, that's one of his specialties.
Yeah, that's surprising. I mean, here's a guy that they always projected could hit 35 to 40 home runs if he played every day, if he had a position. But the one thing I've noticed this year, I've done 4 games with him. He is having a lot of trouble with the off-speed pitches. I mean, right there, they miss with the first pitch. I mean, get a strike, they come back with the curveball, and he swings over the top of it.
A lot of guys would have trouble with that particular curveball.
But we saw him throw him 7, 8 straight changeups one day.
That's right. When we were here, when what was it? Arizona.
Arizona, 8 straight changeups.
That was back on the 4th of July. When was
Correct.
that?
4th of July.
6th of July. Is that Andrew Good? Ward is gone on strikes with the heat that time after the curveball. And Isringhausen made short work of it.
Well, this fastball's up and out of the strike zone. And after throwing a curveball that he was way out in front of, that's an excellent pitch.
1 down to Ricky Henderson. Henderson led off tonight with a home run. The first of 5 Dodgers homers, but he has not been on base since. He's flied out twice, popped out once. Going back to that top of the ninth, Joe.
Right.
First and third, the count went to 3-2. And to Jim Edmonds. And Rolen ran, and they brought the infield in.
Right.
And you explained why. That was the good play. And the runner's going. And
yeah, they're not going to be able to double enough.
But they also conceded the steal.
Right. See, I don't believe in that. I would have held him on at first base knowing he was going to go.
Henderson, base hit. Getting things started. That's what Ricky's been doing for all these many years.
My point is I would have held him on at first. I can't see just giving a guy a second base in that situation. Give yourself a shot at throwing him out, and maybe you get out of the inning with the strikeout, throw him out, and you're out of the inning.
So maybe a little oversight there.
Yeah, well, you know,
because if they'd been able to throw him out, Matheny wouldn't have gotten that chance.
Exactly. My point is, I don't believe in just giving a base in that situation.
There goes Henderson, and he moves to second uncontested, although it is doubtful that they will give him credit for a steal.
Well, it doesn't even matter, because what he does there is he stays out of the double play.
You know, may give the Dodgers an extra at bat in this inning.
Just stay out of the double play.
Now, if Cora can get on base, Sean Green would be the possible tying run. Green is on deck. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cora, who is 0 for 4 in this game. By the way, talking about Mike Matheny, it kind of got lost in the shuffle considering all the runs the Cardinals scored tonight. But they've been struggling terribly to get that big hit. That's a foul ball right past John Shelby. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Cardinals were only 1 for 20 in this series with men in scoring position. And they were 0 for their last 24 until Matheny got that big hit.
Well, that was a big hit. And like you say, sometimes we don't realize how big it is at the time.
I mean, they've been struggling as a team big time to get that kind of a hit. 2-2 to Cora. I mean, this is a huge batter for Isringhausen to get. You've got a guy who's hit over 40 homers in each of the last 2 years on deck.
Although he said he doesn't feel like he has his power stroke right now, one swing can change all that.
And Isringhausen can supply a lot of the power for a guy.
Beautiful curve.
Strike 3.
And you know what? That wasn't his best curveball, but he figured I got 2 strikes. He's looking for something else.
I'm just going to rotate and throw this little curveball for a strike. I take that back. That's a pretty good downer right there.
It looked like it was just wanted to make sure he threw a strike with it when he released it, but it did have some good rotation.
Shawn Green, last chance for the Dodgers. 2 down. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball that missed. Green is hitless tonight. 0 for 4. Popped out. Twice grounded out. And then a shallow fly ball to right. Ten to 7 Cardinals. Another ground ball. Bo Hart throws him out. So the Cardinals come back to end up with a split in the series after the Dodgers had won the first 2, and the Dodgers fall to 9.5 back of the Giants in the Western Division. The St. Louis Cardinals, they remain 3 out in the Central back of Houston. And Woody Williams, the second 13-game winner in the National League. Isringhausen gets the save. 10 to 7, the Cardinals hit it. A record-setting night at Dodger Stadium. Stay tuned now. SportsCenter comes up next. For Joe Morgan and our entire ESPN crew, this is John Miller. Thanks for tuning in. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.